Cool. All right, that's running. How did I lose Discord? Oh, I didn't lose Discord. I'm just in a weird place. There we go. That's better. All right, so yeah, Perry's getting the computer set up.
Yeah.
We'll wait until they get going, but I mean, I figured I might as well get thing going so they know whether or not the stream is actually working correctly, which it looks like it is. Yep.
Let's see.
The link. Did I get the link?
Oh, here it is. Well, I'm on. I follow your YouTube, so
Yeah. Did it just say something about it going?
it's still waiting. Sometimes it takes like 30 seconds to an hour, or not an hour, to minutes for it to actually pop up.
That's a big window.
Yeah, 30 seconds to an hour. Like,
Think.
pick what you want.
Yeah, I have it. It's up. It's came up on mine. I've got it.
Let me pull you up by name. Oh, there we go. Now.
Does it got it? Yeah, if you guys want to pop it out there or anything, that's cool. Get people on there chatting. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna put it in the. I'm gonna pop in the other Discord for a second and just throw it in the other thing.
I just had to mute it in sight because.
Where is Beggar Gate?
It's the blue one. That's how I usually do. I'm like, okay, what color am I looking at?
I have a couple of blue ones, so that's yeah. A couple people view
well.
Live broadcast.
Oh, I tried.
I've got one that's the one that I have that's blue is one we used to use for Among Us. And it's just one of the Among Us people with giant ass cheeks.
Falcadonk.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta change this to session 2. Silly me. That's fine.
We're still waiting for Frank. I'm gonna
Yep. So yeah, the stream is getting going slow, but that's fine. I don't care. We usually our regular game that we do, that I do on during the weekdays and stuff like that. Our allocation is kind of like, okay, the first 20 minutes are going to be just technical difficulties and saying hello to everybody, which is why getting on early helps because it.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm usually like last week. I think I was like 30 minutes early. I was just chilling, hanging out because I had nothing better to do.
I won't always be able to do that, but this
I
like
usually am. I have no issue because I don't. I live alone. I don't have any friends that like to see me in person because they all live thousands of miles away. So it's easy.
There you go.
Where are you at again?
I'm in New Mexico.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we're kind of spread all over the place. We got West Coast, East Coast, Central, and Mountain Time.
Yeah, I think Joyce is probably the closest to me.
Yeah, but
because you're in Colorado.
Yep.
Yeah, but not by a lot. Yeah, I wouldn't call it close.
Close is relative for sure.
Yeah.
Where in Colorado are you?
South end of Denver, sort of like the greater Denver area, but down in like the south end of things.
Gotcha. I have friends or family in Boulder. So.
Yeah, so it's like an hour away, give or take.
Yeah.
Beautiful part, beautiful area. But yeah. Anyway, so I gotta wait for Perry to get on here. One of the things that we didn't get, well, I wouldn't have started on session 1 with anyway. I'm not exactly doing this the way I would normally do it because I didn't have time to write it out, but there's a thing that you do in mass. I don't know if it actually mentions it in the book. I was going to go and text search for it and see if it's in there. Is love letters. But it's sort of like a note for your character from editorial.
Right.
It doesn't happen every session. I usually do it. I tend to do it when like time has passed, or to kind of sum up some sort of thing, whatever it is. It's not just a mass things too. It shows up in other Apocalypse World games for sure. But I'm kind of doing sort of a simple version of that today. So that was a big sigh. We're gonna get started with a little bit of that here once we get rolling.
Nice. Okay.
Gotcha.
To kind of catch up. I think Mo's gonna do the previously on thing, and then we'll get in there.
Yes, will. All the hydrate.
I'll get on here.
So to break the quiet up a little bit, you have that metal straw mo,
Yeah.
and all I could think of when you were drinking out of it, I was like, man, I would carry that thing around everywhere because then I could drink my coffee out of it. I could drink water. I
Very
could
cute.
I could beat somebody
cute.
to death if they tried to rob me. Like that was literally where my brain went, and I was like, what is wrong with you, Andrew? Move on.
Yeah. I got this at the local grocery store, like in the seasonal section. I was like,
That's
it's
awesome.
summertime. It's really cute. And also got a pineapple picnic blanket that's was really durable. Like, yeah. So it comes with.
I got my wife onto those energy drinks you're drinking because they just popped up at our Harris Teeter. So
energy drink.
At what?
the is it the
Mio.
Oh, the Mios.
No.
Okay, goodbye.
these guys? Is this the same thing that you were drinking?
So funny story. I
can't
just
see what
was
it
in
is.
Target and I just picked one up. I didn't actually buy it.
Oh, I thought for some reason I thought that you were drinking that last week. Oh,
Yeah, no, I actually that was
we're
when
good though. So now you know.
Michael's like, "What would you do if you were if I brought Invisible Sun to your house?" I was like, "Oh,
Oh
are
yeah.
you going to Target?" And I was like, "Oh, if you were coming, this is what I'd buy because I'd also buy a table because all I have is a coffee table."
I have my.
I don't even have
I helped
that.
my
I've
friend.
just-
I helped my friend's stepdad move out of his house, and when he was moving, he was getting rid of a bunch of stuff. And one of the things he was getting rid of was a crap ton of 6-foot folding tables because he used to have a train set, and he didn't have a train set anymore. And so I literally ended up with 4 6-foot long folding tables. So I was like, I can accommodate any size group now. If we ever want to play with 15 people, we can do it.
Wow.
I would love to run a Call of Cthulhu game with 15 people.
That sounds like a good idea.
And just I would just be I would literally let everything just happen, and then every so often I'd just stop and be like, okay, everybody, this happens. Continue talking to each other, and then just walk around listening, and just every so often be like, okay, so I need you to roll this and this because these things are happening to you now. And they're like, what?
Right.
Those are my favorite games.
So that's kind of what happened with Night Witches. We were at, I don't know if I saw my video about the Night Witch thing. Jason Morningstar, the designer of it, actually ran a 4-person table of Night Witches. So, you're just
Nice.
15, 20 people that were playing it. And each one had their own GMs. And each table was their own little squad. And we were one whole unit. And so we could interact with each other and have meetings. And then Jason would pop in with NPCs and all that. And it was really
that's cool. That's fun. That's so awesome.
Am I the only one who can hear Frank right now?
I can hear Frank. Yeah.
music sound with my
Okay.
clap.
What?
Where's
I
Frank?
can't hear.
I can hear the musical song with the claps too. So.
Oh,
that's-
is he talking in roll
This is
20?
thing was done.
Oh, he's in roll 20.
Hold on.
Yes.
There it
he's
is.
That's why. Because I have everybody mute. I have my roll 20 muted, and so I looked over and everybody's muted for me on there, and I was like,
God, that's what's going on. I was like, where in the hell is the
Okay.
sound even coming from?
You know, it's
Oh,
funny.
yeah, 'cause I was like,
Thank you
'cause
for
he's
reminding
not
me to sign
in
into roll
Discord.
20.
Yeah. Hold on.
I'm not even in roll 20. Oh, yeah, I
right.
gotta get into that.
All right, hang on a second. I gotta hang on. I can tell him what's going on.
Fantastic.
You can't
Huh.
get Discord to grab your sound and video. It's because. All right,
That's right.
Frank, can you hear us?
Hey, I can
Hey.
on the phone while I'm still fussing around with the
Okay.
computer. Sorry.
So I think, okay, let me tell you something that is probably definitely happening with your computer right now in terms of sound getting on Discord.
Yeah.
When you got in, so you want to do is kill Roll20 and probably kill your browser for a second. Get on Discord first. Make sure you're on audio and video on Discord and then start the thing because Discord will grab your mic and video and will not let it go
Gotcha.
if
Okay.
it gets it
good.
first.
Yeah. Thanks.
It's like the
And-
worst. Yeah, it's like the worst youngest child.
Right. my computer work with my peripherals as well. So there's that whole level. So
We'll get you on the phone. It's all good.
Cool. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here for the hang, and don't mind me what's happening in the background. As
He's doing Perry stuff.
Perry's doing Perry stuff. We will worry about. Actually, Perry's thing is sort of last anyway, so that works out.
Cool.
I went to the Renaissance Festival yesterday, and I came back with, because you have to get almonds with the stuff on it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the sugar. Oh my god, those are the best.
These ones were. I always get the cinnamon ones. They died really fast because they were warm. These are salted caramel on the almonds. What?
Excuse me.
Yes. Salted caramel almonds. So good.
I actually sell those at Buc-ee's, and every time I stop at Buc-ee's, I usually pick up some for the ride.
Okay, so finally, however many minutes we're into this thing,
we're only 15 minutes into start time. Like, we're doing good.
We're doing good.
Yeah.
All right, so previously on masks, and this is in, I guess, is this an in-character thing? Is this in Mitzi's voice, or
It could totally be in Mitzi's voice.
or is it just you
No, it can be Mitzi's
describing the scream?
No, Mitzi can like say it from her POV.
Okay, cool. Let's hear it.
Yeah. Okay, so like last time on, if we even go that route, what is time? Perry, I'm gonna self-talk to Perry later about time. Anywho, so like we're in the classroom, right? No, not right now, Perry. I said later. We're going in this hallway, and I think it's a hallway from school, but it wasn't a hallway in school. It was like, it looked like school, but it was very quiet. Anywho, we went into this classroom, and the chalk started writing on its own, talking about our relationships with each other and the team and like all that. And then all of a sudden, everybody else showed up, and like it was some teacher showed up and started talking bad to me and made me feel bad about who I was as a person. And then the guy started fighting her, and she turned into a monster. Surprise! Yeah. And so I had to help out because, yeah. And we fought her, and it was not a simulation. It was like out of time, fragmented space blob something. Stuff, reality stuff. I don't know. And then, yeah, I was not feeling great because I got hit with a rock, big rock. But I held it together, and then we stopped fighting. And and Fractal? No, not Fractal. Oh, what's his name? The old guy with the beard.
Transcendent.
Oh yeah, that guy, Transcendent. He was a jerk. And like, I was trying to read his thoughts, and then I passed out. So I don't know what's happened.
So, first of all, I love Mitzi's recap. That's awesome. We have that move. I'm going to pull it up real quick just so you can remember what it is. So the recap page at the beginning of the session, narrator recap page summarizing the events of the previous session. Choose one. Oh, actually choose two. If you narrate the page as your character, reality TV confessional style, choose two. Clear, condition, and shift one of your labels and one of your labels up and one of your labels down.
I thought that was Mitzi.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
was like,
she's very happy for you, Mitzi.
Fantastic.
Very, very happy for you.
So
good.
Short Stack's making the noise of the little yellow birdie on the Discord splash page. So
awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and Discard was a real jerk, and that's the first page, kind of her sort of recapping something. Then I passed out, and we get a couple of these scenes here where, it's been a couple of days, right? I'm gonna say it's probably been a couple of days, but you guys are still kind of replaying some of this stuff in your heads, both the encounter with the teacher and the encounter with Transcendent. Probably some of you playing Transcendent's encounter a little bit more than others. Looking at Birthright.
Real quick.
Yes.
Real quick.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to shift my savior up and my mundane down.
Cool.
And then I got rid of afraid, so I'm just insecure.
Just insecure. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm only
Yeah.
insecure. Sweet.
I'm only insecure.
Just insecure.
It's fine.
To me, that's progress. To me, that's progress.
Two. Love it. So 4, and we'll kind of go around. So we're kind of going through just that scene with Transcendent. I sent out the little like previously on video thing. That first bit with Transcendent kind of going, it's like, yeah, I knew somebody with your powers, and you know they just died instantly, and now nobody remembers them. You should probably work on that, and that's been kind of one of those things, maybe playing back and around in. I'm saying this, and I can say this to the GM because I can say, like, this has been playing in your head because he was shifting your labels, and we need to deal with that. So I know that it's been echoing around your head because mechanically you still have to cope because he wants to shift. Now where you said you moved your labels?
Yeah, so I already shifted them. I moved savior up and mundane down.
And he wants you to move your freak up and move your mundane down.
Oh.
So because for
freaks are you at too?
for Transcendent, yeah, mundane is always the lowest priority unless he thinks that you're just a regular person, and then regular people should absolutely be as mundane as possible because he doesn't like when people don't stay in their lanes. Which is why he wants birth rates mundane to go up. But I never got a chance to move his thing. Oh wait, yeah, I did. Maybe I did. I don't remember. Anyway, I got a different thing for you guys. So we go back to that lovely labels move that we got to explore with the teacher a little bit. When someone with influence over you tells you who you are and how the world works, accept what they say, or you can reject their influence. If you accept what they say, I'll adjust your labels accordingly. If you want to keep your labels the way they are, you have to reject their influence. What do you want to do, Mincy? How does this land with you over a couple of days? Do you just accept it, or?
No, because I don't know who he is. And, like, I have my abuela, I have my own parents, I have my older siblings. They already tell me what to do.
I don't need this old white dude with a beard to tell me what's going on.
Exactly. What is it with this old white man trying to tell me what to do?
Transcendent's annoying, too, because he's always kind of looked like this. Like, every picture of him, and it goes back a ways. Like, it's just, like, the beard, the look. He always looks kind of the same. Doesn't seem to age on top of everything else. Doesn't seem to bother him.
How dare he?
I'm so immune to damage you can't even hurt my feelings. Anyway, so rejecting someone's influence, you roll. You just roll.
3d6, right?
Unless the only thing that would affect the roll is, let me look at your character sheet real quick. One of the conditions affects your roll. Insecure. Gives you a -2 to reject what other people say. And you are still insecure. So you do take a -2 on this roll. Because you're still a little insecure.
-2.
Yep. You can do the flat 2d6 and then just punch in the thing. Yeah, there you go.
Oh!
Oh, dear! Oh! Well, that's a thing. All right.
And he's also like super powerful and like... And he knows what he's doing.
All right. So
that's rough.
That is
I'm gonna take the
rough.
potential. I'm just gonna add potential.
Just take the potential. That's a good thing. So on a miss, words hit you hard. Mark a condition. The GM will adjust your labels. I would suggest afraid.
Okay.
Because the thing he kept mentioning about you is like, yeah, if you mess up in the wrong situation, you're just dead. And that can be kind of disconcerting. And then he will shift your freak up and your mundane down.
I guess it's got a +3 freak, baby. It's
time to unleash those powers. Time to unleash those powers. Yeah, that's the thing.
This is fine. This is
fine. This is fine. Perry, how are you doing? Are you there? We can come back to you because I got lots of stuff to do with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm here.
Cool.
Discord almost up, and now that Discord's rocking and rolling, I am jamming onto D20, so I'm not quite 100%, but I'm good.
Getting there. Okay, so for you, the next little bit with Transcendent was was him saying, you need to kind of straighten out your thought process, because I was listening to the video, man. You did babbling fanboy to a T. Like the voice recognition thing, trying to transcribe it onto TikTok was like, I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. Like, I can't help you with this. This is
on.
Is this English?
Exactly what I was
Do you
going
want
for,
to?
so-
I switched to Frank's. It's like, would you like to switch to a different language? No. No, I'm good, thank you. And so he wants to shift your superior up, and again shift your mundane down. Now you can go with that and just kind of ride that out, which is totally fine.
He wants to shift my superior up and my mundane down.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Yeah, because I mean it's my brains that's going to get me out of this, so I'm good with that.
Okay, so he Transcendence advice to you, like, you really just need to straighten your thought process out here and kind of lock that down.
And also, for the record, that happened before he got the smackdown from his boy.
That's correct. Yeah, that happened early, like a little bit earlier than that. I'm going to loop back around.
That did happen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that absolutely happened.
Wait, what absolutely happened? Are we talking about me and Birthright going off on?
Well,
I aired my dirty laundry. That's what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
I appreciate. I love you guys. I don't feel so messed up.
So this is the part where I would probably write it out as a love letter kind of thing at some point in time. But here's what I will explain in summary, what I was planning on writing out and didn't get a chance to do. For Revenant, you don't have a lot of respect. People who are in the superhero community seem to sort of demand a certain amount of respect, just by virtue of being who they are. And you kind of feel like that's sort of garbage. So when this Transcendent dude came in and started talking crap to everybody, and like all these kind of weird, just getting really weird, sketchy vibes on him, and then kind of, came in here on Birthright, obviously you got back up in his face. Now, there's two ways this could go. You're not quite, like, you don't necessarily, look before you leap, and sometimes you don't think before you speak. And that can be good or bad depending on how people take it. So what I'm going to ask you to do is do a comfort and support.
Okay.
If it lands, then your words, the fact that you were able to leap in there and get in front of and getting Transcendent's face made Birthright feel like he wasn't alone in this whole thing, and at least somebody looks at Transcendent the same way that he does. And if it doesn't land, then I mean your actions are still your actions, but what Birthright ends up taking away from it is I've drugged these people who don't deserve this into my crap and my drama. So that's what I'm.
Okay.
That's where I'm laying this out in terms of like in retrospect. So for this, it's comfort and support is a mundane role, which you're super good at.
I'm great at mundane stuff.
I'm actually making fun of you, and I had the wrong character sheet up, so I don't even know if you're good at it or not.
I'm at a -1.
Everybody's super bad at mundane right now, which is
hilarious.
It's great. It's great. So at least you don't have any conditions that will hurt with that. So yeah, let's.
True. None there. Okay.
So it's days. It's days later. How does that? Let's retroactively look back and kind of see how this affected everybody. Give us that roll. Let's see the thing.
Hey, I got a hit.
Way to go.
That's better than a 3.
I was okay. So I want to clarify something, if I can, on the rules for the misses, because you said something and it caught my attention.
Yeah, go for it.
And it was, so if I hit a miss, but I still want the effect that I wanted to happen, I can have that happen, but then something even worse is going to happen in, like, is that correct? Did I understand that?
Yeah, mention it. Like, say, well, I really want this thing to have happened. Yeah, no, I don't. I find honestly, I find the failures that give you what you want more interesting in a lot of cases. Not every time, but it's like I really want to get the thing from the guy. I rolled a 3. Okay, you got it, but here's the problem. Here is now.
He now
the
has your
problem.
left foot.
Yeah, or something. Yeah. But no,
Okay, cool.
and the thing with the comfort and support, for example, is that you say the thing, it just doesn't land. They don't take it the way you intend to take it. I have.
It's just before I made the roll, I wanted to check just to make sure. Because that's probably something I'll do a lot of because it'll be hilarious.
Sure. I have teenagers. Let me tell you that they try to help each other out all the time, and sometimes the other person just does not take it the way it was originally intended. So
we're adults, and I'm sure that happens. Come on now.
Yes. So comfort and support, you got in there in the middle in the 8, so you can. What Birthright has is the option to mark potential or clear condition or shift labels, but only if they kind of open up to you. Now, I think so what I'm pondering here is a little bit of a handoff thing. You've been thinking about, it's like, well, I did that thing. I don't know how he actually took that. I don't know if you know that thing, like the spirit of the staircase, like you're walking away afterwards down the stairs and going, was that awesome or was I a jackass? Which Where you second guess yourself? So So what's that Birthright? If you come back to him and say something to him about that later, like what does that set the scene for me, or does it not happen?
So saying something to Revenant about that?
To Revenant about, like, if you found comfort in it, I guess this is a little bit kind of it still kind of comes down to whether or not you, because again, and I'm going to just pause for just a second and talk a little bit about this. We have people with telepathy. We have people who have the ability to, like, mind wipe people in the game. That kind of stuff can happen. Memory wipes can definitely happen. Mind control is a tricky thing, and I want to make sure that we understand that because even now he's rolled the comfort and support. I don't care if you want me to heal you, man. I'm going to heal you. That does not how the rules work. You still have to open back up to the guy,
right?
And it's still in your shoes. I've actually got like a mind control move that I don't know where I got it. I think it was in a Star Wars game or something like that. I think it was for the Jedi mind trick. But even that was kind of a okay. Well, it landed. So here's what you can do. You can go with it and you get some XP, or you don't go with it and you take some conditions, but you still don't have to do it. You just fight it.
So
in
what
this
we're
kind of
looking
case,
for,
is it like that scene a couple days later where he's like, "Hey, man, the whole thing with your dad," and you either kind of go, yeah, I don't want to talk about it. In which case, you don't open up, or you do. What's that look like?
Can I say?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to. This is exactly how he would approach it. Revenant would come up to you and just be like, "Hey, let's go see a show," and then we'd sit down and we'd be at the show and be like, "Your dad sucks," and then I'd fist bump you, and then we'd be done, and that would be my comfort.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
One of my favorite examples of the minimum amount, and it depends on the character, right? It depends on the scene, but the minimum amount of like open up, like what does that qualify as? Is somebody was doing a Young Justice. There was a Young Justice podcast I follow that the guy who wrote the game ran a game for these guys. One of them was playing Superboy, perfect. One guy was playing Robin, it was awesome, and they had this whole thing, and Robin did like this whole speech kind of deal, and as he was walking out of the room and walking past Robin, Superboy just kind of stops, like, and doesn't really look at him. He just kind of looks over his shoulder and goes, "Thanks," and then he kept walking. That was it. And they looked at the guy.
That's essentially what you get.
Yeah, and they looked at the guy and they were like, "Does that count as opening up?" I'm like, "For that guy? God, yes. Are you kidding me? He acknowledged my existence."
So I would imagine because Birthright's still at a point where he's still kind of emotionally unavailable. So yeah, it'd probably just be like, "Your dad sucks," while we're at the bar, and I'm just like, "Yep," and I just like take a big sip of my whatever I'm drinking, and that's the entirety of the conversation.
Yeah.
And we go mosh.
Yep. part of what's been going around and we're going to use this opportunity to shift the camera a little bit to Birthright's head and what's been playing over and over again with all of this stuff, and how you kind of think of that scene a little bit differently than everybody else, obviously because of just your relationship with Transcendent.
Right.
And from your point of view, when Revenant was kind of getting up in his face and just being all confrontational and stuff, you could, whether or not you're right, your impression of the situation was that he was about to draw down a tremendous amount of aggro. And getting in there and really getting in his face and sort of airing the dirty laundry in order to, because while it feels awful to have him slowly turn toward you, it felt great because it meant that he was turning away from everybody else.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, the question is how that worked out in the long run, now that people have had a second to reflect, because it's possible that Revenant also realizes, like, kind of what you did a little bit. Maybe feels bad about it, maybe doesn't feel bad about it, maybe feels great about it because, my buddy's got my back, kind of thing like that. So, looking at this, how did that defend, where you defended everybody from Transcendent and kind of stepped in there, how did that actually work? So what I'd like you to do is actually roll a defend to kind of look at this back, at this history, and see how this landed for the team.
For sure. Hey, look at that!
Holy cow!
shit!
Have we had a max roll and a minimum roll within 3 rolls?
I think that says kapow.
Yeah,
honestly.
it absolutely does say kapow. No, the 3 was not a minimum roll. It was just it had a lot of penalties. You can, if Bitsy had tried really hard, she could have ended up with a 0. And
I could have,
I've seen a negative. I've seen a -2 once. But that was somebody with a -2 mundane who was also like penalized, who tried to do a comfort and support and rolled double 1s.
Mm-hmm.
Novas, man, they're disasters.
Mess.
But yeah, double 6 with a +3. You're not going to see anything bigger than a 15. Kapow! Oh my god. Okay, on the defend, when you defend something or someone from an immediate threat, roll plus savior. You did. You kept them safe and choose one. Now, 79, it doesn't cost you. So you choose one of those things down there at the bottom, and I'm just going to say probably either add team to the pool or clear a condition, but probably the clear a condition thing, because you've reflecting back on this thing, and as you guys are like sort of heading to the mosh pit stuff, like it's pretty clear that like Revenant doesn't even really you kept him completely out of that line of fire. So it's not your dad sucks, not like
right.
Yeah, you've kept the team for whatever that you're able to look back at all of this and go, well, he doesn't necessarily like any of us, but I focused it back on me, and we were already in that place, so the team is safe.
So I feel like that kind of going through his head after the whole "your dad sucks" thing, he's like reflecting back on it. He's like, "Man, that sucked," but I do feel like I got a little bit closer to my team. So he's going to clear the afraid condition, and then after that, I guess you would call it a conversation between Revenant and Birthright, because that's about the closest thing he's willing to have to a conversation.
Yeah.
Yes. After that, they turn around, they go mosh. Some jackass starts harassing people, and then like Revenant and Birthright just like push him out of the pit, and then there becomes like this big scuffle. And then after like they've gotten into a bit of a scrap after the show, they like walk back to the struggle bus. Shoulder and shoulder. We drank, we fought, he made his ancestors proud.
I love it. Oh, the struggle bus. I am here for that. All right. Excellent. I like that as just a general way of, so that's really what the next kind of pages of the book are, is looking at that, a couple of these panels and reflecting back on all of that information and stuff. And I'm going to loop back around a little bit to Perry, because there is a thing that we want to do with Perry too. That is, we know we already did the.
Just FYI, I think the screen is overlapping the cameras. Or the
just Perry's, yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, the dice roll thing. I only get it up there for the dice because I like people to see what we rolled. But
Someone
remind
says,
me.
yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it'll go away. Yeah, there we go. Timer caught up. Cool. Um. So yeah, you guys heading back after out in the mosh pit, going back to the struggle bus. Um. It's nighttime. It's been a couple of days. Uh. Perry, what is your living situation? Where are you normally?
I imagine that Perry, having been shunted back to this timeline,
Can y'all hear him?
sorry, do I need to?
Can
do I need
very
to
well.
adjust?
I can hear him.
I can't hear
Yes?
him at all.
You cannot
Oh.
hear me at all?
I can
That's
hear him.
weird.
Did you mute?
Did
you mute
sounds
I've
Perry?
got
great.
it on.
Yeah, no,
I've got it on.
clearly.
I've got it on like automatic gain. Did you mute me? You muted me, didn't you? You have heard everything that Perry has to say. That's where we are at this point in our friendship.
Try actually right clicking on him and see if he's muted in your.
He is, and I just looked.
Weird.
I'll mute him and unmute him.
I'm just gonna go ahead and click.
There we go.
remove
There we go.
grams.
Okay,
Got it.
here you
Oh,
go.
okay, good.
Sweet.
No, okay. Whew, crisis
Dis-
averted. All right.
Discord needs to be convinced sometimes that it works. It just needs a little bit of no, you can do it, buddy.
Yeah.
You can get that sound to everybody. You can do it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Comfort and support the software. Um,
But yeah, Perry lives in a studio apartment that, in the 30s would have been like cold water flat shared telephone kind of thing with a bowl and a stand in the corner. But there's been some aftermarket upgrades. So, I mean, there's still a radiator. The old radiator was hissing in the corner like an old radiator, that you can dry your socks on.
love it.
So yeah, it's
That gives me a really.
What does he do when CPS comes around? Like,
Well,
I guess
you try
they
very
would have
hard
had to file something for emancipated minors. So yeah.
Yeah, you try very hard not to have that happen, I think.
Yes, because the good kids get away with the most.
Yeah, the good, smart, get all the grades kids,
Yeah.
and you find it. Yeah. The only thing that's confusing in most of these, I'm gonna get Perry's picture over top of Perry's picture here. So we've got you in this kind of old rundown apartment, someplace that certainly you wouldn't expect a teen to be.
I mean, yeah, it's like a hot plate.
Have you
It's on
got
range of a hot plate.
have you got a weird higher tech laptop kind of interface type of thing, or is it cobbled together dumpster diving tech that Peter Parker would yank out of a dumpster that you've jury rigged into being better stuff? Or what?
Yeah, it's 100% that. It's like, oh, a Mac LC3, I can use this. Like,
Oh my god.
all this old stuff that you're the
Right.
screen's not in color, but if you put these goggles on, it basically equates.
right. Yeah. And you may have noticed in one of the earlier iterations of his suit, every lens that he has a different color because he's constantly having to look through different wavelengths of stuff. And yeah.
Perfect.
Well, I can only see the lasers if I do this, but I can't see the infrared if I, so.
It's like all the consoles in Alien where it's supposed to look super futuristic, but it was made in the 70s. So now you watch it and it's like, this is the future.
This is a future. It's a retro future.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. If you catch up to the generation ship, that's exactly what it looks like.
So we're seeing Perry at all of these weird screens with all the different and sort of it's almost like flipping up a lens, flipping down a lens, looking at the screen this way, that kind of stuff.
Why is there a jeweler's loop? What does he need that for?
At the start of each session or when time passes, Perry, roll Savior to find out how your investigations into the current timeline have been going.
Oh yes. Let's see. My only condition is afraid, which should not.
Nope. Yeah,
right,
and I'll bounce this into the chat over on Roll20 just so you can see it, what the move looks like. And Perry, ooh, look at that full hit. All right. So on a hit, choose one figure that you've remembered or one aspect of the future world that you can of the future world you can remember. You found a lead to follow to learn more about how the present version of that figure or aspect became the future version that you remember. On a 10+, the lead is particularly strong. So right now you can ask the GM one question about the figure or aspect, and they'll answer honestly. On a miss, you're lost in the present, and I have to explain how things are so different and shift your labels according to how that makes you feel. But we don't have to worry about that.
Right.
So
yeah.
yeah.
I feel like my choices at the moment are us or transcendent or teacher.
Sure.
From a meta aspect, I'm thinking the only thing that's going to bring teacher back is the fact that I saved a frog. So I don't know if she's a recurring villain or if she really was the...
Two frogs. Hello.
Oh, that's right. I've got both of them.
Answer
Woody
hazy.
and
Check back
Fergie.
later.
Dewey and Dewey.
Yeah. So what you're essentially doing is like seeing like where things lead you with regards to that, whole thing.
I'm thinking what'll be more interesting is diving into the relationship, getting more clues about Transcendent. I think would be more fun.
Okay. So on a hit.
More potentially delicious and chewy down the road.
You finally to follow.
So don't forget the monkeys.
Oh,
you can't forget the monkeys.
There's also the monkeys or whatever was sending the monkeys in for.
I do kind of always have. Yeah, who's sending the friggin' monkeys? Or did the monkeys just?
What's the deal with monkeys?
They were space
Did
monkeys.
Or did they follow you from the future?
Ooh.
Did you open up a rift?
Ooh.
I'm sorry, Birthright. I know that you stray from the path.
They're a great band.
I'm reasonably confident that I can handle you. But the monkeys, man.
Which thing are you? Okay,
If a baboon finds a screwdriver,
which thing are we asking about? Oh my god!
With it. If an orangutan finds a screwdriver, it's gonna hide it and then figure out how to use it when you're not looking. And this is what I'm worried about. So I'm sorry. I need to know what the hell with the monkeys.
I mean, we don't see many monkeys in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I'm from. So yeah, I wouldn't know nothing about that.
You can actually sort of get two answers to this, but that's okay. We'll figure that out. Okay, so you're asking about the monkeys, the space monkeys?
I mean, it seems like an overarching thing. Like it's another. Did I do that? Like,
yeah,
did I bring
and that's
them?
really what we're trying to nail down here. Is like, is this
Right.
is this something that's coming in? Like, is this was that in the history books?
Did I step on a moth and f everything up, or is there another overarching supervillain monkey hive mind that's is the troop coming after us?
Okay, here's the thing. Initially, your first glance, like after the encounter happened, so you recall this was like one of the main squares where had all the statues and stuff from the Golden Age heroes, like Mitzi's grandma and stuff like that. And at first glance, it was like, okay, this is not a big deal because these guys exist. The Space Monkeys thing, that was a thing in the timeline. These guys are fine. They're not any kind of weird variation or anything like that. But something about that keeps bugging you, and there's bits of the fight that you find yourself kind of falling asleep to at night going, why do I keep thinking about that? And you start going back and looking at archival footage, and it's not like say archival like it's really old, but footage of any time that anybody's ever encountered these I want something like semioids. Or
that sounds good to me.
Or something like that. Every time somebody's encountered the semioids, we've got these. There's footage and stuff, and you're going through
what we call them versus what they call themselves.
Right.
Yes,
exactly. Yeah. So we've got these things. We've got footage and tech that they're using and stuff like that. And you keep going, and then you start pulling up the footage of your own fight. And you're looking and you're playing back, sort of thinking through your own memories of the thing, which it's harder because you had just gotten here. They're using you come to the conclusion, somewhat horrified, that the tech that they're using in your fight isn't tech that exists in this timeline yet. So the faction, the group, the semioids were here, but they're also in your future, and some group of them, some weird. It's not way far forward into the future, but it's definitely not stuff that they had. And if they escaped, which they did, well, they got through one of your portals, and you're pretty sure it wasn't into the middle of space. But even if it was, they could probably deal with it. If they find the current, that's going to jumpstart the group that's currently here, and these guys are going to become a much, much bigger pain.
Right.
And you've already heard a couple more instances of them showing up in the news here and there. All that kind of stuff. And it's not great news to know that you've got this weird thing from out. I mean, you don't want to step on a butterfly, right? And you accidentally brought back a butterfly stomping machine.
Right.
That the notes on Perry's page. Notes. Did I do that? That's the only thing on his notes page.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Right next to space or no space. Check.
No space. Do not do space. And the other thing, hang on. I gotta. Space monkeys are a much bigger deal. I'm gonna switch you back over to the main page here because I need to take a look at something here.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I forgot that we have to fight over that.
We're shared. Yeah, it's a shared space.
Yeah.
You can't. Okay. So. And this has a number of possible implications. You're starting to wonder, like, which parts of this are time leaking? Like, how much? Because you're trying to remember, like, what should have happened versus what is happening. And is me being here messing this stuff up? And honestly, the very question that you're asking yourself and the act of asking the question is giving you the weirdest feeling of deja vu in itself. Like, I've asked myself this question before. Why does it feel like I've already asked myself, did I break the timeline?
This is not the first time this has happened.
So we talked about the monkeys. So it's less about the monkeys and more about what effect is going on here. I want to direct your attention.
Because I didn't pack my time. We've got time leaks because I didn't pack my time depends.
Oh God. That's terrible.
Astronauts have special underwear. Why wouldn't time travelers?
He makes a point.
There are things I don't know.
Yeah, right.
There are things we don't need to examine, on camera. Sure.
What's the thing from?
We don't have to unpack all of that.
What's the thing from? It's like from Marvel Endgame. You like baby me or old me peed in my suit, or possibly just me. Might have just been me.
Right. I will say one thing about the astronaut depends. When it says, like, this is suitable for someone like 125 to 150 pounds, they don't hold nearly that much.
Oh, God. All right. We're going to set the depends to the side.
Table that.
All right. Should I go back and look at the lines and veils sheet? I'm really sorry.
So this has now got you kind of thinking about the whole timeline that's got going on in here. Less about that and just all the other stuff, the people that you've been encountering, and you're kind of thinking hard about that. I want to direct you toward the remember someone move. When you push yourself to remember the version of someone that you used to know about, mark a condition and roll plus your memories. And this is like, if what I know and what I've encountered already, that means that this person must be Jim, whoever. So
do I get to choose the condition, or do you?
You can choose the condition. You can choose even after you roll. I know it says mark a condition and roll memories, but I think it may be more relevant to do it after you figure. Right. Although I'm leaning towards guilty, just because of what we're kind of like.
Yeah, it's that stems straight out of did I do that?
Yeah, did I do that? So let's go ahead and mark guilty, and then what you do is you roll your memories. Now your memories right now are start at -1, and you don't have a label that's -1. So what I would have you just roll is roll the flat d6 and just subtract 1 from it, and that's your memories roll.
And memories is?
It's a stat that doesn't exist. It's essentially like what your current memories are. And then you get to add. You get to add. Yeah, you roll the flat d6 and just subtract 1 from it for right now. And there's actually, if you look at it, there's a remember someone button over next to your memories on your character sheet.
Ooh. Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry, canceling. Coming over to that.
And I think it just asks you what your thing is. As you start to try to piece together what is going on. Ooh, look at that. Managed to sneak out a 7. Okay, so on a hit, you connect who they are now and who they are in your vision of the future. Choose a role they fulfill in the future, in your memory of it, and I will tell you about their future self. So you have 6 slots, sort of in the
Yep.
roles of your memories. 3 of them are kind of bad, and 3 of them are kind of good. And somebody, it doesn't matter whether it's a PC, an NPC, it could be Transcendent, it could be the teacher, it could be anybody on the team. Probably it's not monkey number 3 from the left.
Right. Yeah.
But somebody that we've seen falls into
Somebody that we've seen, not necessarily somebody on the NPC list that you provided.
Correct.
At the beginning from the what's-whom's.
Yeah. Probably, okay. I would lean into somebody that we've actually had an encounter with because it's more fun. And you go into and they are whatever they go into one of these slots. Now you can look at it and go, well, what does monster mean? What does corruptor mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I know those are very, very broad brushes, and I get it. Those are fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I already know how this is going to go.
But you get to drop somebody into one of the slots. If you miss the roll instantly, I get to drop people into the slots.
Is Transcendent with an E or Dant with an A?
I think it's ENT.
Okay.
The Corruptor.
Yeah.
Ooh. I like that.
Monster's too easy, and Corruptor is, as I can see how...
Somebody who thinks of themselves as good can actually cause a lot of damage.
Yep. Yeah. And the law of unintended consequences, you're causing damages to, all of that.
Yeah.
Road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah. And smiling posters of Transcendent. Okay. Tell them as far as you know, your memory started. So now your memories are actually at a 1 because you actually have a memory now. So yeah. And you're kind of almost mad at like past you from a couple days ago because you were being all fanboy about it. Like actually in the context of everything, he's a problem. That is going to be something we have to watch for, definitely. Oh my god.
Canceled.
All right. So.
Thank you for that. That was awesome.
A lot of. I'm probably not going to do the start of every single session with the thing, but when a little bit of time passes, it seems like it makes sense to do.
Yeah.
So yeah. And you look up, having done all this research, I mentioned it was like nighttime and, these guys were going back, and you look up from your stuff and go, okay.
It's dawn.
Time to get a little, you're like, it's time to get some your alarm starts going off.
Yeah.
And it's like, I gotta go to school.
Coffee.
Mitzi.
Yeah.
What? So it's Monday morning. Does anybody in your family know about your thing?
I mean,
Does
like
Grandma
I said,
know?
Grandma has to know because remember whenever she freaked out, like when she first and then like threw all the dishes out. Yeah.
So Grandma knows.
Yeah, her mom told
Grandma always
Abuela.
knows.
Yeah, and then because Grandma lives with them, it's a multi-generational home. Abuela lives with them.
Dig it.
It's the Abuela, parents, and the 5 children. Big house.
One day at a time.
Oh, it is one day at a time.
So is this one the kind of thing where only Abuela and maybe one of the parents knows, or is it the kind of thing where like the whole family knows and nobody really pays any attention to it because it's just this thing that that Mitzi has going on? Like,
I don't think the other children know because I think they would pick on her, get mad at her, belittle her, like just because. She's also the middle child, so
I was gonna ask. I couldn't remember where she was in the whole hierarchy of the family and
actually
stuff.
she just made a list of the names where they are. So she has her older brother Luca Jr. or LJ for short. He's like maybe early 20s, so he still lives at the house but goes to college.
Gotcha.
Then the next one is
You have your
names already. Yeah, I already made a list. I made it just like a few seconds ago. The youngest one is Julian. He's probably like a senior in high school. Mitzi's in the middle, and then Emilia and Elsa are the twins, and they're like probably like 10.
Like 10. Okay.
Yeah.
And so it's grandma and just like your mom who kind of knows, or is it just?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think her parents know. Both her parents know, but
Oh,
they're
both
just
parents
like,
know. Do they
Yeah.
know that you're? They know you have the abilities. Do they know that you're like clarity?
Oh. Oh, definitely not.
Definitely not that. Now, does grandma know your clarity?
Oh yeah, grandma knows.
Grandma knows your clarity.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to go to her for all my advice.
Okay. All right. All right. So getting ready. What's morning like in your household?
Loud.
Loud. Just crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of Emilio and Elsa are arguing. Her mom's just trying to yell at them to like put their shoes on to get ready for school, and they're not listening. There's what's Julian's being like just like a teenager, and LJ is just trying to sleep in because his college classes don't start until like 10 in the morning. So he's yelling at them to shut up. So it's a whole lot of yelling in the house. The telenovelas are on the background, extra background noise. And I think with Mitzi, she usually just stays in her room for the most part because she's always doing art. She's like, kind of like introvert sort of aspect. So she's headphones on. Everything's happening around her. She's just packing up her bag, like getting the sketch out for the day before she goes to school. Like, one of her usual doodles. Just warming herself up before. Yeah.
Nice. Does Abuela have a nickname for you, or is it Mitzi, or is it what is she?
I mean, she probably calls her Mija, but like
Mija.
it's like
That's
common.
more of a collective. Yeah, I was gonna say kind of a collective nickname. So yeah, as you're kind of getting your stuff shoved in your bag and heading down the hall to get to head out, she's sitting in her room, doors open. She sits by the window, kind of a thing. And she's Mija, come here. I saw something on the news this weekend.
And like pulls the headphones off. I'm like,
I saw something on the news this weekend. Someone in a pretty outfit with some Superboys.
Abuela.
Just
like Missy just shuts the door behind her quickly.
Yes.
And Dad don't know.
No, I know. I just recognize the colors. I always look to see if anybody else is using my old colors.
I mean, if they do, I will fight them. But they're family colors.
I like it. I think it looked good. Be careful. I saw you were the news was about how Transcendent had come down. What? Look out for that.
Oh, you know things about him, and she goes and like on the bed and like sort of like.
That's too much.
Oh, come on, please.
He's a jackass. You don't want to listen to him, but we'll talk more.
Okay. Yeah,
he's after my time.
He talked to me and he tried to tell me that like he knew somebody who had like the same powers, and she died in space. I gotta die in space.
I never did. I don't think. She kind of winks. Listen, that boy is not the one I want to talk about. Listen, you've been having a lot of trouble with all the it gets so out of control, and I never had that. I think it's just because you're a little bit better at it than I am, or a lot better than I am. That's some of it, but I think some of it Chica, I always had a lot of friends. It was a good group I was with, It was a good group, and it was strong, and you're always in your room. I think I was really happy to see you out there with some other. Well, I liked that it was Superboys, but I think it was good that you were out there with others. You should make sure that will help you. That will keep you when things start to get bad and then things start to spiral. Just stay with them. It'll help you control things and keep that. You're very powerful, Mija, but you need to be able to control it. A fire hose that no one's hanging onto is going to damage more than it helps. So just that's what I think you should just keep that in
Bars.
mind. What's that?
Yeah.
I said bars with the fire hose line.
So she is actually Miha's telling you how she thinks it is.
Yeah.
She wants to shift your freak down and raise your mundane up and get you a little bit
Oh.
more.
Les, I'm gonna listen to her because she's my whale.
You have to, right?
Just kind of let that
I ain't
happen.
nothing.
Yeah, freak goes down and
Mundane goes up.
yeah, and Mitzi's gonna be like thinking about for some.
You
I
should-
should like.
You should bring them over for on the weekends for
I'm not
for
bringing
lunch.
them over.
For
No.
for like a lunch. We have when we do a cookout.
Yes, so I can be like, hi, mom and dad. Here are all the white boys I hang out with. So welcome into our home.
I don't know. I'd say it like that.
That's what they're gonna see. That's what mom's gonna see at least, and she's gonna be like, "Mom is."
She'll be fine. I'll talk to her. I'll talk to her. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. You should
To
bring
be
her up.
honest, Abuela is my new favorite character in anything ever.
Yep.
Because she's just fantastic. She's like, I like that it's Superboys, and also he's a jackass. And I'm like, yes, yeah, I'm just gonna. I'm so happy.
Yes, queen.
Also, and just a sidebar, if I'm doing a voice at all, and I try to tone it down, if I'm doing a voice and it's offensive in any way, please tell me to shut the fuck up. And I
Oh
will
no, you're doing
stop.
fine.
All right.
You're doing
It's
fine.
hard for me not to. One of my probably all-time favorite characters in the Mask game is from this other one, and it's a younger hero in the high school whose name is Emilio, and he is the smoothest legacy. He is always ready. He's always prepared for whatever social meltdown, and he's from the Dominican Republic, and his grandfather is essentially the guy from I don't always drink beer, but when I do,
Oh,
like, he is
Oh, the
so,
Dos Equis guy.
so Granddad is a silver fox, like just this, and Emilio is his name.
Yeah.
Who,
Oh, you're doing fine.
He takes after that, and it's kind of funny because that's the game that I run with my daughter and her two friends, and they're like, "Why can't we be boys who can like that? He's so good at being a boyfriend. Why is he so good?" I'm like, "Because I'm 50 and I know how you fuck these things up, so I avoid them. I've given one kid who actually knows his shit."
Yeah.
Anyway, but
Yeah. So Mitzi's like, okay. Like, I'll think about. I'll ask them. But like, I don't. Okay. Maybe. We'll see.
yeah,
Can I go to school now? Like.
yeah. No, you're going to be late. Hurry, go.
Okay. I'm gonna. It gives her a kiss on the cheek and like runs off.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like a younger version of Coco in my head. Like some
Yeah.
like a little bit older than the mom, a little bit younger than Coco, somewhere in that range. Younger than Coco for sure.
I'm thinking very the grandma from One Day at a Time, sort of.
100%.
Yeah, you said that. I have to go and look for pictures. And
Go
stuff.
go do some research.
Yeah.
It's a
I
fantastic
don't-
show.
I
It's really good.
Yeah, after we get done, at some point in time, I need to do Passion de Passiones with somebody, because your eyes got real big right there, Mo, when I said
Well,
that.
I'm playing right now with the whole Latinx cast, so we're all like,
Oh, really?
yeah. So we're actually doing like a Wild West sort of 1890s sort of like novella style, and it's great.
That's super good.
so fun.
I'm doing Hearts of Wulin, which Lowell was strongly influenced in the melodrama stuff by that game, and my God, the drama. Oh my word, it's a factory. Anyway, so sorry, that's a bit of a tangent. I apologize.
And Mitzi runs off to school.
Missy
so-
runs off to school. So we're in a normal school. We're at like I think that's what we kind of agreed on, right? We're at like Halcyon City South.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing that was established was that the district school bus like dispatch yard was adjacent so that we could get to the struggle bus that's on block.
Which honestly, it doesn't even like, because people would be able to trace it a little bit too easily. So it's not even really Like it's been
Close enough.
it's been spray painted a bit, like so it doesn't say like Halcyon City South bus. It just like or it probably did like Halcyon City South District. Now it just says like that's been all like spray painted over with like struggle bus.
Hold on. I think I found the picture. Hold on.
Okay. All right.
Who painted that? Because I know Missy likes paint. I don't know if
Yeah,
Missy's spray painted or not.
Have you guys ever
I'm
watched?
definitely picturing the bus from the Muppet movie, but okay, go ahead.
Did you guys ever watch Star Trek Rebels? Such a good.
Star Trek Rebels or
Star Wars Rebels. What did my brain say?
Okay, I got very. I
Yeah,
was like,
sorry. Star Wars Rebels. One of the characters in there is a Mandalorian by the name of Sabine, and her bit, the stormtroopers actually refer to her as the artist. Is that she spray paints stuff all the time, and she paints her Mandalorian helmet is all spray painted in crazy colors, and she's constantly redoing it and changing the design on stuff. They capture a TIE fighter at one point in time, and it looks like a freaking like float, like a parade float. The next time that you see it, it's great stuff. And I just love the idea of the bus being like, is that like you can tell it's still a school bus because of the silhouette, but otherwise, yeah.
no idea.
I love the idea that. Did you say you found a Sean's digging?
No, hold on. I'm about to upload it.
All right.
I was like, yeah, he had this like determined look.
Because I was
like,
looking
will
the other
find
day,
this.
and yeah, hold on.
You can throw it up in the Discord. I'll get it from.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So it's a full size, but I had it as like one of the shorter buses. But that's fantastic.
We gotta have cots and like a couch that we can play Xbox on, and all that stuff. Like we've tricked this thing
has
out on the
power.
inside.
That's terrifying to me that this thing is powered in some way, shape, or form.
Oh no, it's 100% violating every like fire hazard code. We've got like extension cords running like the whole length of the thing.
I love
Really,
it.
how we power it is we have several like rotating power wheels, like hamster wheels doing it. And every time we go to do something, I just summon little like cuttlefish that
What?
I love
little psychic
that it's coming.
cuttlefish.
That is that.
Or you could just ask me to do it.
But I like my cuttlefish; they're my friends.
God.
He let him have his friends.
Okay.
They were my friends before I met you guys. Okay.
That is.
Do the cuttlefish act as a mood ring for Revenant? Like depending on
maybe.
what's going on in his
do
head,
now.
the cuttlefish.
They do now.
They
Change
didn't.
that.
That's canon.
They didn't before, but they do now. Oh, there we go. Struggle bus. We gotta save this thing.
So much better than the Electric Mayhem thing that was in my head. So yeah.
The one thing that I like, one of the things that I like doing with images and stuff like this is just dropping them into one of the screens in Roll20 just to use as the backdrop. Like this is just the scene. It's the establishing shot picture, right?
Right.
And that is good stuff. So I'll start with Revenant, I guess. Coming to school, is your default to like come to go to the bus first, or do you go to school and the bus is just like the where I go when I'm just done with everything else kind of a deal?
So I'll usually come from my sanctuary straight to school, and then after school is usually I'll go to the bus and chill there after school.
Gotcha. All right.
That's usually what it is. So I'm coming straight from like the sanctuary.
I got to turn this a little bit, but
Just picturing Fast Times at Ridgemont High and wondering which one of us is hotboxing in the struggle bus before school starts.
No.
Well, I'm after.
It's like
I'm
me.
after. It's after. It's after
Okay.
school though. Before school is coffee. After school is hot box.
Okay.
It's terrible. All right. So okay,
I really got to go look at that lines and veils sheet. Hold on, I'll be right back. Sorry, I feel like I'm just toes over.
Okay. I mean, I like Perry's too. I love the little short bud. It's so cute.
It is really cute.
we're getting it. We're getting a nice mix. We're getting a nice
Short
mix.
bus might be a little too on the nose for us.
That's why we call it the struggle bus. All right, so I threw you guys on the map. Kind of when I say south, I mean like, and honestly, this probably isn't far enough south, but where the water line, where the water is at, is be the north side of the city. So it's lying all along, and you've got like the bay is out north. So further south, probably it's further south than this. I need to get a different map. Google Maps is your friend. I will get a good. I gotta see if I can dig up the other map that I had because I'm sure I had another one at some point in time. We have a nice high downtown, big buildings that we can knock over area. Probably, you've got your big tall tower here that's probably for the exemplars that looks out over the water, or even something that's even further out at the right at the water's edge or something like that. But you guys are like out in the probably not particularly high income area. It's not the nicest of the Halcyon high schools, the Halcyon City high schools. I need to get into here. So you go straight into the school. Who's got classes together like early on? Do you think? Yeah, thank you for the lines and veils. That is.
You want to
useful.
pin it? You can pin it.
I will do that. That is a good idea.
I was opening up lines and veils in another window, but I'm sure whatever you just did is better.
Well, we're gonna.
I just put it in the Discord, so it's like here forever.
Kind of
awesome. Thank
pinned
you.
up
Thank
to
you.
the top there, just to. Why did it do that though? That's weird. Yeah, I want to go there. I want to go there. Oh, it didn't. It showed up funny, but that's fine. Just the true. Where are lines? True.
What? So what grades is everybody in?
That's a good question. Thank you. Ask that question.
I feel like high school senior.
Yeah.
Should be a senior, but I'm a junior.
I think Mitzi's a junior as well.
Yeah, I'm 17 and
Oh,
Yeah,
Silas.
Physically 17, but sometimes time moves through you.
100%.
Yeah, whoever's a
100%.
senior is probably in the same classes as my older brother, Julian. He's a senior as well, and I think we both go to the same school.
That's gonna
Is
be
it the type of school where, depending on the class, you can have people from multiple years, or
depends
is it?
Depends on the subject, certainly.
Right.
Yeah. So Mitzi, are you a junior or senior or?
Junior, and her older brother's a senior.
Okay, so me and you are juniors, but I should be a senior. There's a key.
You think we're in the same math class? Because I think math's her biggest.
Yes, can we be in the same math class? Just
Let's do that. First thing in the
your
morning is
best
math class.
I think Perry and I are in shop, and he's teaching me how to blow things up.
Yeah, Perry's definitely
Yes.
the kid who blows things up in shop class, but also the guy in math class who can tell you why.
Right. You science.
I'm gonna need some tutoring.
I think we got to Perry for our math homework. We'll go.
Okay, listen, the first thing you need to know, Revenant, the first thing you need to know is that 98.7% of the Anarchist Cookbook is bullshit and designed to kill you. Okay? It's to weed out the idiots. So let's just throw that out. It's good for ideas, but let's get some equations on paper before we start putting match heads in, tennis balls.
And some of you are like now Googling Anarchist Cookbook, having never heard of it, and going,
and you're on the list.
Oh no, I've heard of it. I know what it is.
Oh yeah.
No, I know you guys have. I'm talking about the characters, like going the what? The
what?
Hang on, I gotta look something up real quick. No, it's not related to what you're talking about. I swear. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hey, look, it's online. Okay. All right.
Me and Mitzi and Matt together. Bertha and Perry are in shop together.
Oh Lord. All right.
Can I be in the choir? Just because that makes so much fun. Like,
oh my god, that's so cute.
Why in God's name would I ever say no to that?
He's also his music teacher is also like the important person. So.
Oh yeah.
So he sings in choir, and he sings like really like classical like pieces, like nothing that would ever make sense to anybody.
Question: Where is he? Is he a tenor? Is he a?
He's a tenor for sure.
Okay.
He's specifically a tenor too,
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
because that's what I sang, and I just appreciate that.
Yeah.
The
I was in choir in junior high and middle school, so I understand. And then the choir teacher taught our guitar classes in high school, and he always kept asking me, like, "Hey, when you go join choir?" I'm like, "Never." And I'd go off to
That's
guitar
fair.
class.
There you go.
Love it.
Yeah, and then Mitzi's also in the art classes. Like maybe like all her electives are art classes.
I feel like Silas is in the art class, but he's the kid who like doesn't really do the art and is kind of just there to like mac on the art girls. So
Do you think that's how Mitzi and Silas originally met?
yeah, probably 100%.
Yeah, I love the idea that you guys didn't figure out who you were until like after the first thing.
There was 100% like earlier that day, like I was kind of like trying to put the moves on Mitzi, and then the whole monkey thing happened, and we both show up, and she's like, "Oh," and I was like, "Oh," and like,
Hey.
This is both more awesome and less awesome. Oh my god.
Harry, what other classes are Frank? What other classes are Perry in? Is he like in the super science classes? Is he like in physics and stuff?
Yeah, he'd be in like whatever the AP gonna go to college for science classes are, and AP math, and then
No, AP Calc, AP Physics.
Yeah, exactly. All the stuff that Frank definitely was not in. But I was like jazz band, marching band, concert band, choir, drama, creative writing, free period, go home. So yeah.
AP Spanish
Hey, okay.
and forensics. I took forensics in my senior year.
I did. What did I do? I did theater. I did choir. I'm sure I did other things, but I don't remember what they were.
I feel like you and I met in social studies, and we were doing like a group project on like how late stage capitalism is ruining America.
Think about me and you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're absolutely in the AP history class at the end of it. That's the one thing I'm good at. Is like no. This is how fascists take over.
Yes.
I feel like Perry would avoid the history classes just because it's too much. It's too much. It would break him. You're teaching them what? No.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, I think his steam release valve is definitely the shop class, and most of the other it would seem like a grind to other people, but it's just like oh, math this is easy, this is fun, sure. Give me the Sunday crossword puzzle, and I'll do it in pen between the last stop and when I have to get off.
It's because it's cheating because you already know what the answers are going to be. What Caleb, which teacher never cuts you a break?
Which teacher never cuts me a break?
Yeah.
Math.
Easy.
Easy.
Yeah.
I think she's the worst of both of us. Actually, she's just one of those teachers who doesn't. Yeah.
I like it's a she because I had a different character.
She's like
a different fate in mind, but that's good.
I imagine that she's like a very straight-laced character, and I show up in like my punk like leather vest and hair, and like every day, and Mitzi shows up covered in art stuff, and like she's just like, I don't know, dress normal, and we're like, nope.
No. I'm wearing clothes. What more do you want from me?
Right. I mean, my shorts.
Probably getting the term wrong, but you're the punk kid that wears your like war vest to school, right?
I wear it everywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
cool.
the only place I
think I have the adjective on the vest wrong because I was never that much in the
battle
scene.
Vest.
But
yeah,
battle vest.
Battle
Thank
vest.
you. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I almost never take that thing off. It's on constantly because I'm always ready to go.
Like he's got like a big municipal waste patch on the back.
My lord.
I have the weirdest. I have just like
DIY
have, like-
studs all through the shoulders and like
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
Clothespins, yeah.
I made Birthright and Perry both like make their own like stuff in shop that I could like sew onto it.
Perfect.
Heck yeah.
So I got like, so I don't know what you guys made for me. I was like, make something. And then I made Mitzi like paint a big old thing on the back of it.
I love
like-
that. I love that so
Like-
much.
So like my vest is just covered in stuff from all my friends. Like once we became friends, I was just like, nah, this is how this is happening. I'm
And then he's
ripping
got,
all
like,
of you guys.
And then he's
I-
also got a big cuttlefish patch on there.
I think
Like,
actually
shop
no. What
teachers, like-
happened is Mitzi drew a big ass like octopus, like from like one
Yes!
back around, and it wraps around, and the tentacles just come one side, and
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm down.
then everything else
Teachers.
just like laid atop of it. Yeah.
Also, can Revenant be in like a deep sea oceanography class?
Like marine biology.
Yeah. But like specifically deep sea creatures.
I don't know if
Like,
they have something that specific in the high school, but you probably like really did like a deep dive on.
I'm just in a biology class and I'm just like, did you
That's
guys
all
know
you
that
ever wanna
cuttlefish
ask, yeah.
can, like
He's like Neville, always wanting to talk about herbology.
hey, Neville's dope.
He is. Also, fuck turfs.
Fuck turfs.
Fuck terms.
Just throwing that out there randomly.
Yeah.
I think we
For
all
no-
did that
no
video.
reason. On a completely unrelated note, fuck turfs.
Fuck turfs.
Like,
I'm picturing Perry's shop teacher going, "How did you ruin?" Like I'm working on the thing for Revenant's vest. It's like, how did you grind down another carbide bit? I'm like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
you're not even supposed
Don't
to.
worry about it.
You're not even supposed to really be able to do that. How? What?
You guys haven't
Exactly.
discovered the right alloys yet. Give it
Right,
about
that's
30 more years.
Oh man.
I love it. I love it. I'll throw that in there, just in case you're not looking at the roll 20.
I'll be back in
Oh.
like 30 seconds.
For the centaurs.
I'm sure.
I love that.
I didn't make that. That's legitimately a thing that is out there in the real world.
I like that though. That's
I don't
That
know.
works.
I don't know why it exists, but it's absolutely a thing.
That's fantastic.
hairs.
I love it. I love it. Or you know what? This is central. Maybe south. Maybe all the Halcyon City. That's what I'm looking for. Mascots are mythical creatures. Like
Okay.
central is a centaurs. Central centaurs. Oh my God.
North
Seriously?
is
Do they all have to be alliterative?
I mean, I don't think so.
North is dragon. Like that makes sense for them to be like if like the north is like the rich area, they would be the dragon. That just makes sense to me.
Sure.
South Kraken.
Yes! Can we be the Krakens, please?
Sure.
I don't know why.
It's
This
why
is
you
the
picked
only
this
reason
school.
I go to
It's literally. This is why I go here. We have to be the Krakens. That's why I go here.
I love it.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna make that poster. Can I be also the school mascot just because it'd be funny? I get to run around. I'm sorry, this is just making my day way too
Look at
good.
Deutsch, just like he's like, I'm gonna walk away.
I know. I always walk. I always walk around. This is like I have to do a standing desk for games because I'm always pacing around.
And I just realized
Yeah.
that Joyce and I are wearing the same shorts.
Are we?
Huh?
Possibly.
Well, I hope not,
The
because
cool-
then you're both
the
in the same
cool,
pair of
crux
shorts, and that
length,
would be weird.
They're not cool, but they are.
Okay.
I have those downstairs.
Yeah.
They're the next one's in rotation.
Telling you, separated at birth.
Birthright. Which
Yeah.
Which teacher do you? You know the TikTok trend. Somebody's hang on. When I'm talking, I'm bouncing through Birthright's mic. Like back
Oh.
to me.
Hold on.
I don't know why I'm doing that. The monitor's like turned too high or something.
Maybe. Hold on.
Well,
I
there-
can fix that.
I don't. Well, it's still happening.
I was hearing doubles for everything earlier.
Oh, gee, I wish you guys had told me. I could turn this down. Hold on.
I didn't even think about it. Like it just didn't cross my
Is that
mind.
better?
And then,
I just
and then you
assumed I was
said it,
phase
and then I was
shifting.
like, oh.
Yeah, that's better. That's much
Okay,
better.
cool.
You good? All right.
Mhm.
So, you know that TikTok trend of tell me about a conspiracy theory that's completely stupid, but you really kind of believe it anyway, or
Yep.
it's just out there. Which teacher do you legit? You probably don't want to ever tell anybody this because no one's going to take you seriously. But who do you legitimately think is actually a supervillain? This is their undercover job.
Oh, that's a good one. I feel like it's like an administrator,
The vice principal.
like the vice principal.
Yes.
Yeah. Because like I'm thinking back to like an actual vice principal I remember like having, and like was a total cop and would just like totally like just go around and just like harass kids that were like even a little bit out of line. And I was like, I'm just thinking about it, and I'm like, this person has it in them to hurt children. Like they're not a good person, and they kick puppies, and they're definitely a supervillain.
Mr. Cole.
Yep, there it is.
Cole. Mr. Cole. There you go. Yep. Mr. Cole, Vice Principal Cole. Secretly a supervillain, or at least, yeah, that's the going conspiracy theory. Mitzi, which ones are you sure are hooking up?
Oh, it is
Oh,
definitely the gosh, who is it? It is one of the general science teachers and one of the English teachers.
What gave it? What made you think so?
I don't know. Like one time, the English teachers,
is it like
there was just like
this is like a
hours
legit,
on the desk.
Oh, okay.
And then you see them walk in the hallway to give each other looks, but like you can see them walking with each other. And you just no.
You just
no, just no.
It's a body angle thing. They're not touching or anything. Yeah, you can just kind of tell how they.
Yeah, they're in step with each other.
It's the mirroring for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's the English 3 teacher. So I think it's one of Mitzi's English teacher actually, and then just the freshman general science 101.
What's their name?
James.
Is it a well? Okay, what is it? A boy girl couple? Is it a girl couple? Is it a boy couple?
So I think it is Mr. Baker, who's a science teacher, and then I was looking at Star Wars Rebels, and now I'm looking at all the cast and okay.
It's a good show. I'll tell you.
It's a really good show.
I'm going to go on a side tangent about that here in just a second, but
it's going to be Mr. Kane for English.
Mr. Kane.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Kane and Mr. Baker. Gotcha. And Mr. Cole, the vice principal. I'm saying all this out loud so I can come back to it later and write it all down. This is why I record my sessions, is because I have no brain. I have to. It's all outside brain for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So my side tangent on Rebels is this is back. Rebels came out kind of. Nobody was. I don't know, necessarily super aware of Dave Filoni at the time when he was doing like Clone Wars, because it wasn't. It was sort of his first thing. When Rebels came out, people were like, the first season of Rebels came out, and people were like, "My God, this feels exactly like a West End Games RPG group doing a campaign. Like it feels so much like a West End Games starting group." In doing that interim, thing, like doing the time, like it'd be fun if one of our characters was kind of like the same age as Luke, but we're never really going to run into Luke, and that was how the games ran. And Filoni said, yeah, that would be because I played West End Games like Star Wars for 15 years, and he brought a lot of that into the thing. But the Rebels thing, man, that feels like a Star Wars campaign. A lot. It's really, and there's a reason, is because he played the original RPG for a bit and brought it into, and now he's like, the creative director of pretty much all the stuff Star Wars, or one of the main movers and shakers and producers and stuff like that. So there's some bad there. He's got some bad instincts about certain things, but
no two people are going to think of the same thing the same way.
Yeah, and there's some kind of like they're doing the Bad Batch right now, which is going back to the clone troopers, and people are like, there's a real bad tendency in clone troopers to have it not be about the clone troopers, but to be about the Jedi, which is sort of annoying. And also, we know who the clone troopers are clones of. Why do these guys all look white?
Right.
Which is kind of
There's that.
a really, really super valid question. Anyway, but that's now we have definitely gone afield. Okay.
I put the info in the game section because it hasn't been touched yet. So
Thank you. Perfect.
That's where notes are going to go.
That is an excellent idea. We can use the game channel just to put stuff. It can be like a nice little low volume, low volume kind of thing. At what point during the day, Revenant, do you get just fed up with all this stuff and decide that you're going to take a little bit of an early break back out to the struggle bus just to get away from everything? What is the thing that finally is just like, you know what? I don't really need that last period of the day.
It's usually like it'll be like, well, so are we doing like 4-block classes? Like how? Because it would usually be like right after my class with Birthright, and I'll just be like we'll have me and Silas have class together, and I'll be like, I don't have class with any of my other friends. I'm going to the bus, and I just dip.
PE.
I just dip right after that.
So you guys have, what did you say? You have PE together?
History.
Oh, history together. And the one right after that is going to, okay.
Yeah, PE is where he dips.
Well, it depends on the day. Some days they'll be like, hey, we're going to go do this cool thing. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. I'll go to that. And then but I'll just leave like as soon as they tell us what we're doing in the PE class. So if they're like, okay, today we're going to be lifting weights. He's like, I'm out.
We're doing
the fitness gram. I'm out.
We're doing the president's fitness tests. Oh, no, I am not going to do 100 sit-ups.
I'm not going to do 10 sit-ups. I'm out.
Okay. So the problem is with this is that you realize sort of after the fact, or as this becomes a little bit more complicated, that you've established a pattern. And that pattern has been noted. You didn't really think it was necessarily, you thought it was, the first couple times you sort of chalking it up to coincidence, but this time, you're hearing voices in the hall, relatively empty, and it's like, do you want to come? We have that meeting starting up. Or you want to just walk down there? No. I'll be along presently. There's a few things I need to check on, just to make sure that everyone's where they're supposed to be. And this is Vice Principal Cole, and you go, he's noticed that there's some absences and sort of patterns of absences and stuff like that. And he is really directly in the way for you to like just take the normal little side doors that you take out of the school to get over this thing. What do you do? Is a retreat back from this whole thing?
Are there windows?
They're all in the classrooms. The halls themselves are kind of like,
okay, so like there's no like empty class nearby.
No, not this. This is honestly an issue, and the reason that there's so many sort of halcyon high schools, there's some private schools too, is the town is very big, and obviously the city's very big, and everybody's kind of at capacity. South isn't the biggest one, but it's got like 2,500 kids. Every single room is used every single period.
Okay.
And I'm saying this. I'm not saying this to be a jerk. I am modeling it on my daughter's school, which is the largest one in Colorado, with 3,200 kids in it. 117 entrances into the school campus. It's bigger than some colleges that I've been to.
My high school I went to was 4,000 kids. So,
yeah, that's bananas. Yeah.
My graduating class was 670 kids.
Yeah. Kaylee's was her freshman class was 987 kids for their freshman class. It is crazy. But yeah, every single room in a 6-building campus, every single room is used every single period. and they have 7 minutes to get from class to class, and sometimes that's either end of a campus that's 3 blocks long. Um, so it's kind of like that in that it's a couple different buildings, but when nobody's in the hallway, it's really kind of difficult to figure out where you are. The current hallway where you're at right now is one of the ones that's sort of that interior hallway with the rooms on either side. And so, yeah, the rooms are, I mean, you could probably find a room that's not being used if you're not talking about a classroom or something like that, but. Is it retreat? Is it retreat back to gym or because he's coming? You can hear those freaking shoes on the on the linoleum.
Oh, I'm just gonna keep going.
Really?
I'm just gonna just confidently just not even care. Just gonna go. Just walk right next to him. Just
right past him.
Just right past him. With all the confidence of a 17-year-old punk kid.
Mr. Loxon.
It's Losheen. I have to be somewhere. Can we talk about this later?
Yes.
I've got to go.
You need to be in gym. It's that way. The way I'm walking right now. Let me walk you.
No, that's okay. I can find my way around. Okay, bye. And I'm just going to go.
Mr. Loxon. And yes, he's getting it wrong again.
Yeah.
Look,
I'm going to stop. And I'm like, it's Losheen.
Mr. Losheen. I apologize for the pronunciation. Your class is over here, and unless you have a pass, that is where you're going to go.
I don't have any gym clothes on me. I have to go get some. They're this way.
The locker is this way, and you're late.
They're not in my locker.
We're going to go back and we'll see if we can't find something for you. If not, I'm sure street shoes will be fine for whatever you're doing today. I hear it's sit-ups.
Hooray.
Sean just like, oh, you bastard.
I'm getting like Vietnam flashbacks over here.
From like actual school?
Right, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I did. I had a moment one time in one of the sessions of one of the mass games where I said something. It was basically the parent like this like. I'm a little bit disappointed in the way that your grades have been this semester. I just feel like they should. I'm not saying you're not doing well. I'm just saying I feel like it should be better. And like literally, one of the kids started to like, I need to stop because that. No, I'm having a bad feeling right now because this is literally like a conversation they'd had the week before for real. And yeah, it was just. All right, that's cool.
Okay, so I'm just gonna like I'm literally just gonna go, yay. Fine. And I'm gonna. So as we're going though, I am looking for the nearest door that I can just bolt as fast as humanly possible out of.
So, trying to see how difficult. Oh, this is probably going to be. So break down. Go ahead.
Do you think you could do and assess the situation?
I think that's absolutely true. Tell me again real quick what your class, like just broad strokes, what your classes are. Any of the outlier ones, like the core is going to happen, but what are like the outlier ones?
I've got like, oh, yeah, no, I'm actually not going to bolt. I just thought about this because he's like thinking it through, and he's like, no, they won't let me sing at the concert. I gotta shut up. Just go.
Actually, you know what? If you don't mind, that's what he immediately brings up as you're talking. It's like, I think it's very interesting. Someone looking at you from the outside might get the wrong impression, Mr. Losheen. I find it fascinating that your dedication to music and choir in the classroom is it's come up a number of times. Your teachers have always been extremely complimentary. I must admit that it surprises me, and that I am very much looking forward to seeing your performance. I understand you have a solo in the next choir performance.
Yeah,
That's
I do.
that is a high honor, really a real privilege for anyone involved in the choir to be able to add that to the performance. I must say I'm very excited to see that. We do have a minimum grade standard for extracurriculars like sports and unfortunately also choir that requires a certain minimum grade to continue to participate. I hope we're able, for performances of course, and sporting activities. I hope that isn't going to be a challenge. I don't imagine it probably will be. You are a very bright young man.
I'm gonna head to the gym now, and I'm gonna start walking towards the gym, like just fuming internally. Like,
I think I have high hopes for what you're going to be able to bring to the school, Mr. Losheen. Very high hopes. Use your head, and you'll go very far.
and I just give him like the thumbs up behind the head as I'm walking. I'm like, I can't look at him right now. I can't.
I
So
feel
I'm
like
just like,
he's like Kelso from Scrubs, where he like acts like really nice and everything, but then like
Oh
when
my
he
God.
loses it, it's like really scary.
He incidentally, I am definitely going to have him because he never doesn't. There's never going to be a situation where Cole doesn't take the opportunity to try to tell you how the world works. He definitely thinks you need to be using your head in this situation and just kind of keep things wired down tight, and take care of business. And he would like your superior to move up and your freak to move down.
Lesai.
Lasai. You can try to resist it. There's some ways to resist that don't have anything to do with that necessarily, but
so I'm gonna do what he says,
Okay.
and I'm gonna kind of like, but I'm not gonna like it. I'm gonna accept the shift and just be like, I don't like that you're right. Shut up.
I want to say thank you for giving me the idea of like having this leverage of the choir thing, because that tells me a lot more about the character also, which I think is awesome.
Yeah. So what's moving where?
He wants you to move your superior up and your freak down.
Okay.
Use that head of yours. You're a very bright young man, and we see him sighing on that. So break down for me a little bit. What's the tough part of the day? Let's I say go around the table. What's the tough part of the day that we see in like sort of like in the anime? It's like it's the drawn shot that is given the impression of motion by a slow pan across the picture, where there's only like one actual motion, where it's like you guys like somebody face palming or something like that. But what's that tough part of the day that we see for Perry? We'll start from the bottom up for me, I guess.
For Perry, the toughest part is that my phys ed is right after lunch, and it's
we have phys ed together. That would be amazing.
Sure.
just randomly, you're like, well, there goes Revenant again.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, he's got a split. I'm just gonna ask a question so that the teachers focus on me for a sec.
See, Perry, you're a true friend.
I'm your wingman, ride or die.
So you're like when Revenant is walking back into the gym, we see Perry is like, no, he's never gonna need to use this. I'm telling you, I will never need to use this in the rest of my life. I can absolutely guarantee that. Beyond it.
Right. Exactly.
That's amazing.
Oh, I got it.
So then in fifth period, or whatever is after that one, is when then I'm like sneaking food, because I know that if I do all those sit-ups right after lunch and I eat when I'm supposed to, then I'm just gonna puke. So I have to like sneak food in the afternoon, or I'm
absolutely.
It's a mess.
Mitzi,
why do they even have PE right after lunch? Like, just have the PE teachers teach their social studies and their health and whatever. Like, schedule that then. There doesn't need to be PE. It's also the hottest part of the day. Like, why are we even out there? This makes zero cognitive sense.
Mitzi, what's the little scene shot that we see of you guys? That see of you, like the struggle part.
I mean, struggling always with any academic classes. So, like, I think we already talked about math is her weakest.
Yeah.
But the one that she starts falling asleep in, or like getting distracted, or something, is going to be biology class.
Okay.
And like they're starting to like, it's either biology or chemistry, one of the two. I think it's biology because I think they're talking about like anatomy of like frogs like on the screen because they're going to dissect like maybe or something.
Uh-huh.
And like she's just like leaning on her hand and just doodling in her notebook. She's just like one of
who like okay, so a fruit by the foot pack, one of those little fruit by the foot things drops in front of you. Who drops in front of you? Some student, just like not one of these folks, just like somebody who's ever at your table, like somebody sitting at your lab table or whatever, like drops a fruit by the foot thing in front of you, like.
Oh, it's gonna be
We're gonna start building. We're gonna start building out our homeroom.
Yeah, let's. Names new. I think it's All right, give me 1 second.
I know names suck. Names are hard.
Names are the worst. I think it's Zhao.
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 Okay.
Zhao Da. Yeah, I'll write it in the.
Okay.
It's in a second.
Cool.
And I think she is one of my friends.
Okay.
Like
nice.
Mitzi actually has friends, like, or at least people that she's kind of close to, like
nice.
Not really like close, but like.
Nice. But yeah, it's the fruit by the foot because you have to fiddle with it, and having to do all of that stuff is keep you awake through the rest of the video kind of thing. You have to peel the thing out and do the thing, and you've got little extra folds that you always do to the thing that keeps you busy, and it's food and a toy.
Like she's like just like trying to like peel it off and like eat it because you're not supposed to have food in biology of all things. That's unsanitary.
Yeah.
But she's like just peeling it and like just like doing these things and putting it in her mouth and like.
I have learned a lot about high school being somewhat different than the way I remember it. The way they run, and especially at the big schools and stuff like that. There is no lunch hour because there's no cafeteria on the planet or multiple cafeterias in a high school that can handle all 2,500 kids or 3,000 kids.
You either bring your lunch or you go hungry.
Yeah.
Or get there early enough to like.
The whole thing where it's like, oh, the seniors get to go off campus. No, everybody can go off campus because they need people going to the other because the cafeterias legitimately couldn't handle if everybody was trying to eat in the school, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a little bit crazy. And your lunch period is whichever period is open. That could be 7th period. It might be 1st. Fine. That's when your lunch thing is, and you just kind of eat whenever. You eat in the 7 minutes it takes between classes or whatever while you're walking. It's crazy. All right, so yeah, fruit roll up. What about Caleb? What about Birthright? Not Caleb.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Silas. I meant Silas.
Yeah, I was like you said me and
switching,
him. So
I'm switching you two. I'm sorry about that. No, we have your bad thing. We get you in full detail, and then we go through. It's like here's what the other people. Here's the shit that everybody else was going through that was also crappy. We got yours in detail.
Yep.
So my thought is that. At the start of this semester, to impress Mitzi, I enrolled in Intro to Spanish, and he's just having a really hard time conjugating his verbs. He just does not get it at all. Like,
why is it La Bibliothèque?
Right.
Mr. Shepard.
Words don't have genders. What is this?
That's awesome.
Gender is just a... Mr. Shepard,
Gender is a construct.
Yeah, Mr. Shepard, why is it La Bibliothèque and not Los Bibliothèque? Well,
Would love for you to tell me. I'm in this class to learn.
gender is a construct, and the library is constructed. So, am I even close? Am I even close? Anyway,
I'm gonna be honest. That was the best description I've heard for like that ever, and it still doesn't make any sense.
no idea. Okay, yeah. So the picture. There was a picture you guys put up in the chat. I think it was in general, sometime during the week. I'll just say how much I love this chat from day to day. I think it's in here.
I'm still here. I just have a little girl in a state of undress with me, so
That's okay.
Children.
So the picture that I'm thinking of is the one where it was like all of the sailors like collapsed on a park
yeah.
bench. The post fight.
Yeah, let me.
I looked it up. Perry absolutely is Sailor Mercury, 100%. Yes, thank
Yes.
you. You're leaving? Okay, bye.
So for me, bye. This isn't so much post fight as it is post today. Like this is, you guys don't necessarily need to be in a dog pile on each other, but the after school shot that we get of you guys, like whoever the last person is to kind of like schlump into the struggle bus and drop into a seat, y'all kind of, this is the energy. Little black wavy lines coming off the top of your head like a cartoon, and everyone just kind of like,
I think Mitzi's curled up in a beanbag chair, like trying to take a nap.
Is there like, are there like chips, like bags, like the snack bags of chips and stuff stashed in here? Or are you guys already gone through all of those? Or are you just like going through whatever you got left in your backpack?
That's probably it. I just keep
I
a
got an
bunch
idea.
of granola bars on deck.
I've got a big old, like, you know those tubs with cheese puffs?
Yeah.
She's like floating them up to her mouth.
One big tub of the cheese puffs that she's flowing out, but you can see in the background like there's like 3 more that are empty. They're just back in the back.
Take them out.
Revenant's sitting on one, just as like a little stool kind of a thing.
Yeah, that's exactly. But I'm also grabbing, like, I know I would have just a handful, and I'm just like, I'm done with today. I'm out. I'm stealing some, Mitzi. I'm sorry.
I know that I should be eating.
Air?
Like, I just every so often as they go, I'm just gonna be like, no, I'm gonna take that one. Like,
yeah, I know that I should be eating a protein bar right now, but I'm like 2/3 into a bucket of red vines.
Yes. Oh, man. That, yes. My God, that's just terribly. Whew.
I'll tell you stories sometime when we're not recording about what I actually ate in high school.
That's fair.
Garbage.
So, are you guys? What's the scene here? You guys just kind of like all commiserating about the worst possible things?
Yeah, I'm just going on about how we're doing 4 years of these classes to then have to go into $80,000 in debt to prepare for jobs that don't exist anymore.
Like, and me and Bertha are just sitting there going, capitalism sucks.
We could fix that.
What? Say that again, Perry?
Perry, don't.
Hang on.
Don't.
Okay, but my timing sucks.
Perry, hey, let's go get
Let's at
coffee
least hear
for
him out.
everybody. No, you guys hang out. Perry, we need to have this conversation, and I need coffee. Like, let's go, so that Mitzi doesn't have to hear us ramble on about the fall of capitalism and how we make the world a better place.
We can bring back
she can just take a nap. She deserves a nap today. She earned it.
But also, I'm never going to college. I'm just going to go be an artist.
Hell yeah, stick it to the man. All right, let's go.
Every time somebody time travels, they worry about stepping on a butterfly because of what it's going to change, but nobody thinks they could like step on the butterfly of capitalism and change that in the future. That is
exactly what I'm saying. That's right.
So me and Perry go get coffee for everybody. That's all we talk about.
So while they're out on their coffee run talking about how to overthrow capitalism through time travel, I would walk over to Mitzi and be like, "So how's your head after the other day?"
Oh, it's okay, and like she kind of like touches where, because I think she heals at normal human speed, like not like super speed, so it's like still like a nice little gash.
Yeah, a little bit more than a little bit faster than normal, probably, because
Yeah, for
superpowers, your repository of cosmic energy, but or
I
something.
think it's like the last bits of scabbing and like instead of like being like still like straight
Right.
up coming
And
together.
after she kind of says, "I'm okay," and kind of like rubs the scab on her head, I said, "I'm not talking about from the rock."
Oh, what are you talking about then? That's when the nuggies in the air just float back into the bucket because now it's time.
Well, first of all, I know my dad has a way of getting in people's heads, and you know, kind
Oh,
of
I hate. Oh,
in line with what I was saying a little bit. Like, you're supposed to be here, and don't let anyone tell you how you should or shouldn't use your powers, because I think between you and your family, you can figure that out on your own.
and so she sits up and she's like, "But the thing is, like, my abuela is the only one who's had this power. My parents know about it, but my siblings don't, and they don't have powers either. I and my abuela, she never had powers to my extent. She's don't know what happened between us, but they happened, and mine are a lot stronger than hers, and I'm concerned and worried about what I could do. And your dad talking about someone dying about going into space and like, you know,
Well, as somebody who is the son of one of the most powerful heroes ever, and who didn't get shit out of the gene pool, I can tell you that powers or no powers doesn't make you who you are, because that part is up to you to decide. Otherwise, we wouldn't have supervillains. And as far as dying in space goes, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we're waiting for the monkeys to come back. We're not going to them.
you're right about space. And I am trying to get better, and I need to figure things out. And Voila's like, you need to be with your friends more. They'll keep you grounded, etc. And trying to do that too.
Well, I mean, we'll try and keep you grounded, because I know with all that stuff spinning around in your head, it can't be easy. So I know that I'm not always the most emotionally available person, and you're kind of all of the emotions all of the time. And so maybe we'll find a happy medium there somewhere.
Yeah, I like that. I think she's like picking at her nail bed because like cuticles, and she's like, also, Abuela wants me to invite my friends over. So if you ever want to like come over like something, you should figure out with the others. I'm like, try to see. I want to, of course. Yeah.
He kind of like while she's talking, like grabs her hands and is like, "You shouldn't pick at your nails like that."
Aww.
And she's
And
blushing a little bit.
and then about that time, like I imagine they come back from their coffee break, and there's that like quick like we both pull back moment.
Before that, I want to know: does this? It feels like a comfort and support kind of a thing here. Comfort or support, kind of a thing. Definitely feels like a comfort thing.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more pointed from Birthright over to Mitzi. Does that sound about right?
I think so. Yeah. I mean,
think
that's
so.
what that was his goal. That's what he was going for.
Sure, sure. Why don't you give me that roll while this is all
Okay.
going on here? I got to get your passive moves into your sheet so I can look at them. I keep forgetting to do that. Like the share a moment, triumph, victory, failure, all that kind of stuff.
Hey, that's a good one.
Let's go look. Let's go look. What did we get? Oh, wrong.
On a hit, they hear you. They mark potential, clear a condition, or shift labels if they open up to you.
I think the opening up. I mean, did we get an opening up? It certainly felt like it to me, but I'm not the one.
I think Missy did open up a bit. Yeah.
Sean, you on board with that?
Yeah.
All right.
Which one do you choose for Mitzi?
But
I think
let's see.
I think you get to. Do you get to pick? How's it worded?
No, it says they roll with mundane. On a hit, they hear you. They mark potential clear condition. Oh, so they do it. Okay, so
Yeah, you can kind of
because they open
whether it makes you feel less crappy or
I want to be less afraid, please and thank you.
yes, I would like to be less afraid, please and thank you. I like that.
You know what sounds real sexy? No one ever hurting me again.
I remember that. That's a good meme. We got to get that one back up in here.
Yep.
I gotta dig up. I gotta get those. They're not saved in the right folder right now, so I'm having trouble finding them again. All
I
right.
just have a whole sheets thing, so I can share that.
Yeah, I gotta get them all pulled back together. So yeah, you guys are Perry and Caleb are walking, heading, getting caffeine, coming back, and you're almost out of like the bus yard.
Mid conversation, it's like looking. I know the queen was a jerk to the prince and princess who wanted to leave the family, but that doesn't mean you just go around squishing monarch butterflies. Okay, that's not how it works.
Okay, so all right. So now that we've discussed this, though, because I have like ulterior motives to have a conversation with Perry, because I'm still concerned about something that I was like, I need to think about this later, and I just remembered it.
Okay.
So
I look forward to having you start this and having me really inconveniently interrupting it. So go.
Okay. So we're going, and I'm gonna go. Okay, Perry, how did you know what my mom's kitchen looked like? How do you know where that was?
Okay.
Okay, the dance.
It's difficult for me to.
Like, I'm not upset about it. I'm just curious.
Yeah, please don't be. It's not a weird thing. It's just that, like, I'm here for a reason, right?
I mean, I don't know that anybody's anywhere for any reason. You're here, and so we'll make the best of it.
Sure, it's not that everything happens for a reason, because the future isn't written in stone. Everybody has free will,
Yada yada, all that stuff.
Yeah. The problem is, okay, you know how particles behave differently if they're being observed? Fuck, no, you're not gonna.
What?
I can't. I have to be very careful about what I tell you that I know from being from where I'm from. Because if I screw that up, you knowing something that you shouldn't could affect your decisions in the future. So I'm like walking a tightrope over lava filled with giant eels right now. Right.
So
I don't know why they're not burning, but they're like impervious to fire. Giant
lava eels. It's fine.
Lava eels. That's totally. Oh God, don't say it. It'll come true.
You two should never be left alone together.
So
it's terrifying.
I love this.
Okay, so then I just have one question for you. This is all I need to know, because I just need to know this.
The tiles weren't pink forever. Sorry, no, you go first. You should have gone first.
I just need to know.
Shit! Now watch. The monkeys are coming back. No, wait! Hold that. Monkeys.
Monkeys.
What? This blinking. This blink. This orange. This is bad. This is bad.
We're gonna go back and get the other side.
I will absolutely tell you everything I can about your mom's kitchen.
What was what was the first half of the sentence that you were saying? I want to hear that all the way through.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Yeah. What was the first half of what you were saying?
When I was asking him what the
last
one thing I need to know.
Yeah.
I want to know if I can trust you.
I want to know if I can. I want to know if I can. Why is that flashing? Like that's like probably about. I just want to know if I can. Why is that flashing? Monkeys.
Monkeys again? Like same monkeys?
It's situation unclear. Ask again later. I don't know, but we need to get back to the bus.
Okay, let's go.
Get me some of that whole milk though, because that's delicious.
So as he says, like monkeys, I want to use my dark visions.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna mark the doom track, and as soon as he says monkeys and points at the orange, I want to just
Have a vision.
purple, like, and I mean like it's purple glowing. It's like purple smoke coming out of my eyes when this happens.
Awesome.
Say what?
Yep, that's right. Hi.
Oh, you need to check this, by the way. Bringing your doom closer. What brings your doom closer? Choose 2.
Oh, so that's what I want to show you. The frightening loved ones.
Okay.
So there are. I'd actually like to have 3. I know that probably doesn't help me, but it makes sense for what my character would want, like
Okay.
how it would work.
Uh-huh.
And it would be injuring innocence,
Sure.
frightening loved ones,
Okay.
and then talking about it openly. Because it's that psychic connection, like any of those things brings her closer into me.
Your loved ones is relatively limited right now, so I'm fine with that being on the list because you got to get to the point where that's
Real
thing?
yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
So, like,
I'm down with that. I'm down with that.
okay.
All right,
So those would be those 3.
Yeah, we got to get the visions thing on here too. That's the thing I'm missing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Like, I don't know if this is would I have to roll my freak to just like duck into an alley and blip us through a portal straight back to the struggle bus?
No.
To get us back to the thing because
First of all, you
I'm just
really weren't.
picturing-
First of all, you really weren't that far away.
Okay.
Secondly, no, not really. There isn't like an overcome. It isn't. You don't need to. And this is an important kind of a mass thing. You don't really need to roll if it's not like a challenge.
If it's just narrative.
Yeah. If it's not like there's something that would necessarily be standing directly in your way, kind of obstacle, using the powers, using freak or something like that. There's an obstacle to overcome.
Sure.
There's no real obstacle to get back. If you want to do that.
Okay.
It's cool, so you should absolutely do that. Like it isn't so much
that's what
that
I
they
was
come back
thinking,
in through
and
the
it's
door.
like-
You guys like sort of like sit back away from each other really quick when the portal suddenly forms in the ceiling of the bus and they drop down through. You're like as the portal's going, you're like, or whatever it was that Sean was talking about, where you kind of sit back away from each other really quick.
I didn't just to clarify. I did not hear. Can I trust you? I heard. I just need to know.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah. Can I? And then
Mhm.
why is that blinking? So getting down to the doom thing. Dark visions. Mark your doom track to have a vision about the situation at hand. After the vision, ask the GM a question. All right.
I don't know if you were able to see on Barry's civilian attire, but there's a blue watch and an orange watch. I'm just saying, because portals.
That's
Yes. Like I thought that was pretty clever. Cause Portal.
because portals.
My homage.
Can you, Joyce, I think it's covering the bottom again.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah, I lifted up
Oh.
there. That's okay. Short stack was there, so it's just as well we covered it up for a little bit.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. All right, I'm just putting dark visions in here so I have it as a reference without having to go over to the thing. Cool. Mark your doom track to have a vision about the situation at hand. A vision about the situation at hand. All right. Perry's watch is just. I'm not. I'm assuming that Perry doesn't have a monkey tracker specifically, but there's certain types of energy that the thing kind of blips out for.
Yeah, I mean, and I would.
The
think
monkeys
that-
are probably
that-
the most likely. But you immediately go to that because you were thinking about that this morning, last night, throughout the entire night you're thinking about the whole monkeys thing. So the idea that there's this weird temporal / spatial dimensional fluctuation immediately goes to
Yeah, I mean, and it could be my jump to conclusions, Matt. But at this point, we don't know.
it's a very powerful power, the jump to conclusions.
Yes. Yes.
The vision that you have, Perry, goes from the it feels different than it normally does. It isn't, and partly this isn't because it isn't necessarily directly connected with you. But you do see the connections. It's connected by all the things that you're connected to. So the vision starts weirdly kind of looking down, to use Portal as a reference. One of the most disconcerting things about that game is when you're looking through a portal and you see from a completely different angle yourself.
Yeah.
And you're looking, right? And so your vision is looking at you and Perry like right now as he turns and he starts to open a portal. As he starts to open at that portal, your vision kind of almost goes through it and comes back out at the bus, and you see those two sitting together, and Birthright's kind of like looking at her, trying to stop one hand from picking at the other hand kind of thing, and them looking up at the portal, and it zooms past them and out of the bus and over to the school and like into the parking lot where this portal is sort of like spiraling into existence, like right there in the park in the school parking lot. This one, unlike Perry's one in the ground, one in the roof of the bus, this one's vertical, different energy to it, but kind of comes through all this stuff, and you see the activity as it's starting to engage with like actual people, beings coming through it, kind of a thing. So you're getting, that's the initial thing, and you are seeing, but and he was right, it's monkeys. But again, like they've got like the comic book gear on, like the shoulder pads that don't really, the shoulder pads like chest plate thing that doesn't really do anything, and the sort of
the World of Warcraft armor that really shouldn't work.
That was my picture too, like small head, gigantic armor. Yeah.
Like the shoulder plates come up to like here.
And like the weird headpiece that's like the Liefeld headpiece that's just basically like for playing when you're the headpiece that gets used in like taekwondo matches and stuff like that, but this one's like
feet are conveniently out of the panel.
Yeah, they're not showing any of the feet. The first foot that comes through, and then after that you don't see any feet, any monkey feet. They're all I'm not gonna have
doesn't have to draw them.
I'm not gonna have all the monkeys. How do we know the monkeys are the bad guys? They're all drawn by Liefeld. They have
there you go.
They're covered in pouches. There's like pouches mounted in places that would never stay up.
They even have like a mask that has pouches on the cheeks.
Dial back the gonzo there a little bit.
Nope. I refuse.
No, they're not. They are not that. They don't have space.
Okay.
Satchels.
So
what's your question?
I see just who sent them? I want to know the name of the being that sent them.
Ooh.
Sean is just like, it's great. I'm so excited.
Well,
I'm working.
I'm waiting.
Just kidding. That is a really good question. There is. Hang on. I'm gonna need art. Luckily, I will have art soon.
Can we cut to commercial while you're doing that?
Sure, we'll cut to commercial.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, everybody take a quick break while I'm pulling all that stuff together.
I'll be right
back. Where did I go? There it is. All right. I knew I'd get there. Hello. Are you back from the ponies? Good job. You're leaving now to go. Okay. That was How is that true? Bugger.
Oh, just as a fun fact, the two cuttlefish that I summoned as like little psychic constructs, because there are two of them that are permanent. Their names are Bill and Ted.
Because we need more time travel references. Oh my god.
You're welcome. Did you hear that,
Oh,
Mo?
no, I didn't.
Oh, the cuttle. So you know how I have the like two cuttlefish like name like constructs that just like do stuff, and they're my friends.
Uh-huh.
Their names are Bill and Ted.
I love that. I might be face palming, but I love that.
I was like, your face reaction didn't say that you loved it, but I appreciate that.
We need
It's like,
we
oh.
needed more time travel references.
Hey, I mean, it's like it was the first movie he saw in theaters.
Oh.
It was a classic movie night at one of the drive-ins with his dad.
Does he still live with his dad, or
His dad is dead.
okay?
So is his mom.
He's a mess.
Where are you staying right now? Where?
Nobody's asked me that question. Nobody knows really.
Also, where is Birthright staying right now? Where's Silas staying?
You guys are all a mess. We're
like,
learning.
I'm the one with a full family.
Exactly.
You're the only one with a full
Hey, everybody.
family.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Welcome back.
we're gonna like session by
gonna-
session. We're gonna get in here and figure out where the heck everybody's actually living because three of y'all are like child protective services waiting to happen.
Well, so mine. I know where I'm living, but none of you do.
I know where Birthright wants to be living.
Us?
Mhm.
Tower?
Yeah, he's gonna go after Dad.
Oh man, that is yeah. I'm glad that I know that because
And dangle it like a carrot. Yeah.
Yep, that's what you gotta do.
Yep. Sean, I think you'll appreciate this. Did you hear what I named the cuttlefish?
I didn't.
Bill and Ted.
Fantastic. Love it.
horrible.
Excellent.
I could see the like ears. You're like, damn it. I mean,
I'm
it's
seeing
clever,
Samuel
but
L.
okay.
Jackson on the stream.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going
Whoa.
through here. I'm trying to find the dang picture I want, and I'm not finding the one I want. I had a ton of pictures of like, nope, not a Cylon.
Oh my god.
Oh wait. That kind of works. Anyway, Mojo Jojo. That's who's behind all of this.
Fantastic.
There's been a recurring. I'm blaming Mo for this one, but there's now a recurring and somewhat consistent theme. There was a question I think a couple of like a week
There you
ago or
go.
so. Somebody threw something out in TikTok of like, what's a recurring theme that completely unintentionally shows up in all of your games?
Oh, that was not me.
And no, it wasn't you, but thanks to you, my answer is now chicken nuggets or nuggies. Um,
You gotta come nuggies.
yeah, that shows up.
For sure.
That's been a thing that has shown up multiple times, and
It's actually funny. Speaking of which, so we have that actually in our podcast as well. We have hallucinations. Originally in Mask, it was a coffee shop, and then it just turned.
you hallucinate the coffee shop.
Oh, that's the coffee shop was called just Hallucination. It's called Hallucination Coffee Shop.
Ah,
Yeah, and then also it was in our Monster of the Week game as well, like another coffee shop named Hallucinate. So it's just like one of those things that just it's a little Easter egg in each episode that we do.
That's cool.
We had a there was one coffee shop in our first game that was run by a former superhero that they called Has-Beens.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's so good.
I love that so much.
And
Has-Beens.
Has-Beens. And yeah, that was run by a former like a retired superhero. And then there was the chain, and I'm probably going to continue to use this. We can certainly, but the chain in Halcyon City where you can pretty much go anywhere, and there's going to be one of these probably on the street corner is Deja Brew. Because
Like
if it always feel like they all feel kind of the same.
Oh, in my Kids on Brooms game, basically how in the area how you get to like the school because it's a school.
Mhm.
You're like, okay, yeah, we'll take the train, but how you get to the train from a main world, you have to go into the coffee shop, and then through the coffee shop you go through a wall and like do it. And
That's
the coffee shop's called Donut Depot. And like it's like like the sign is actually shaped like a railroad crossing with the X, and instead of the
Nice.
R's, it's D&D. Like
Nice.
you get to order off menu to get a ticket to trade.
I
That's
love
fantastic.
That's cool. That's awesome.
that. That's great. Yeah, Has-Beens was fun. We had a lot of like very terrible coffee shop names. One of them was a Blintzkrieg. That wasn't really. It was more of like a pastry shop. But yeah, Blintzkrieg. That was one of them. Yeah, it was the whole thing was a mess. All right. I don't know if Frank's back yet. I'm gonna grab a soda real quick, and then I'll be right back. I'm not trying to drink my way through a gallon of iced tea lemonade this time.
Wait, you don't
Yeah.
want to do that again?
It was fine. It was totally fine. Nobody was harmed, but
I think that's a pretty low bar for it being fine. Nobody was hurt.
Hopefully this hurt.
hey, listen,
Fair.
you're gonna be happy with that bar at some point in time in the
So here's the thing. I have a very low bar for my day being good. Am I alive and have I killed anybody? No? Fantastic. It's a good day.
Yeah, that's good.
like-
That's a great way to look at life.
Here's the thing. No permanent harm was done. It's a good day. Can always come back to it. I don't know if you're trying to talk, Joyce. I just heard I and then nothing.
Sean ran away. I was gonna do
Yeah.
real on.
Joyce, we can't hear you, but we can see your mouth moving.
Am I back? There we go.
Yeah, you're back.
Here.
Get a reset.
It's the rule from it's the TikTok rule. Don't add to the population. Don't subtract to the Don't subtract from the population. Don't end up in the hospital, the newspaper, or jail.
Yeah.
If you end up in jail, establish dominance quickly.
It's true. Or be, funny and draw stuff.
Who sent?
Not speaking from experience at all.
Who sent the monkeys? Who sent the monkeys? It's a terrible idea. I love it.
Oh God. I'm a little afraid.
I always love when the GM's like, "Yo, that's a terrible idea. I love it." It's like, "Ah, yes,
Hey,
This is gonna be fun.
this is
Zoe, will you do me a
fine."
favor? Can you grab me the deck of villains from down
Oh,
where we play
God.
where we play Masks? The deck of villains from Masks. Can you grab that for me?
Getting your child to do your dirty work for you.
Yeah, seriously.
It's a whole floor away. It's so far away.
Yes.
She loves the deck of villains. It's like their favorite thing. They go through and rank them by who they think is the highest rated villains.
Well, that sounds like
It's a deck of cards you can get from the Magpie Games guys that are
Nice.
like,
Oh, neat.
yeah, it's like 80 some odd bad guys with
Nice.
just like yeah, I mean it's interesting. NPCs and certainly villains. Thank you. Very kind. Thank you for your assistance. Yeah, don't ever buy them because I want to use some of them. But actually, it's where teacher's from. See?
nice.
So you got the
That's
teacher,
They
cool.
also have a deck of influence.
Right on.
and then what's that? Yeah, they had like the influence deck and stuff like that. But then they've got like a little description thing on the back that is what their real name is, what generation they're in, what their drive is, what they're trying to do, what are their basic abilities, and then how many conditions can they take.
That's so
and-
helpful.
And then moves that they do, like reveal her true identity from an innocuous and trusted shape. Implant small. Yeah.
I was flipping through the math book when I got it in the mail the other day, and I saw the picture of teacher. I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
I have wanted my daughter knew this. I told her that the thing was with teacher, and she's like, "You've wanted to start a campaign with teacher for the longest time." I'm like, "I really have," and I was so happy that I thought of it. Yeah. But anyway, they have. It's nice because they have like some. It's a really really broad gamut of different kinds of bad guys. You know, fallen heroes and you know anti-heroes and all that kind of stuff and you know people. It's really really interesting to look at them because they don't directly say like this guy is super powerful. It's kind of in the way that they're described, kind of. So there's some in here that are just. Oh, let's see if I can find one. It's an excellent way to. So if you look at this one guy who's basically like some sort of like robot, you know, with electrical powers, and their abilities are listed as lightning control. Their drive is to eliminate superhuman powers, you know, so on and so forth. It's just lightning control. And then you look at this other dude in here. Matter control, ultimate strength and durability. And that word's not thrown in there for the heck of it. It's really meant to designate a thing. Like you will not meet anybody stronger than this person. They take it at face value, not as an exaggeration. This one, impossible technology, ultimate intelligence and strategic powers. Ultimate strength, ultimate invincibility, flight, and energy beams. And that's like the superhero, like the Superman sort of
Right.
evil Superman XP is just, they're meant that you go like, oh, I see. You're terrifying. Like you are like,
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys have ever heard the Dungeon World story of the 16 hit point dragon.
Mm-mm.
No.
The dragon, the default dragon in Dungeon World, which is another Powered by the Apocalypse game, is they have a fair amount of armor, but they have like 16 hit points, which doesn't seem like a lot. when you've got fighters that can hit for like, D8 and things like that. 16 hit points doesn't seem like a lot. And somebody told the story about using the moves as they're written on the sheet with the 16 hit point dragon and what that did to the party. And what it did was traumatize them and swear that they would never try to face a dragon again. But it was kind of like the dragon showing up at Lake Town kind of scene, and there are certain tags that the creature has and stuff like that. But by the end of it, and it was only like, I don't know, the whole thing couldn't have taken more than like maybe 5 minutes to play through. But by the end of it, half the town was on fire. One of the players was missing an arm.
Jeez.
Because he has this tag for messy. So like, I don't just hurt you, I like horrible crap happens on top of that. One of the characters was missing an arm. Half the town was on fire. The heroes were legitimately fleeing the town. The dragon only had 3 hit points left, but they didn't know that. And it was a lot of it boils down to all that kind of stuff. Anyway.
So Messy's like can't turn around without the tail knocking over the tavern kind of thing.
Messy is like, if I hit you, it isn't just like I hit you and like horrible damage ensues kind of thing.
It dismembers.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the bull being like in a fight, and the bull's like, "I've just gotta wreck it."
Yeah. The bull is even more like gets a bonus on the roll as long as they're destroying their area, like the surroundings and stuff like that. It's great, but there's a price to pay, kind of a deal. So I think I still have this person floating around in here somewhere. So let me see. Oops, that's not right. Where? Of course not. Sorry that took a long. You asked me a difficult question, man.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Sort of.
This is good. But the good thing is I now know the answer, so that's awesome. Where? Oh, there we go. Image. Yeah, this works. So you see this the vision that you get is it kind of takes you through the portal, Revenant, through into, I mean, it's a comic book, so I'm going to lean into this. Some kind of like a band, like what looks like an overgrown, like jungle ruins kind of thing, except it's not really. It's an overgrown, like jungle construct kind of thing. So stone temples out in the jungle, overgrown, but at the same time, like weirdly high tech, and it zooms kind of in there. And there's like the portal and the troops, and in the back is like, I don't know what Perry was like, the orangutan who's like directing everything and has like the brain thing on it and stuff like that. And what they're shouting is, take the present, regain the future. Like that's like their battle cry mantra thing. You see that, and as you're kind of like squinting at this thing, somebody steps into your frame of the vision. Like if you were like, I don't know, actually I think it kind of reminds me of, if you've seen The Matrix, when Neo is having the vision of the skies being burnt and stuff, and it pulls back a little bit and you realize you're looking at a television screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's kind of like that. Like suddenly the vision that you're having has a frame on it. Okay. Like, and it like it's not taking up your entire sight, and somebody steps in front of that and looks at you, frowns and reaches out and kind of like just, and you see the hand close and your vision is cut off. Like stop that kind of thing. The closest you can think about the impression that you get is a female presenting android, like a humanoid robotic figure who, vaguely speaking, appears female human in presentation.
Okay.
Vaguely speaking. We'll go with here till I can get it up where you can see it.
Okay.
It looks like Danger.
Like just the noun?
No, from X-Men. So like there's a later run of X-Men where they took like the cerebral cortex from the Danger Room and put it into an android.
Oh,
that was cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool idea. That's a
Okay.
terrifying idea. Anyway, so you see the thing, and to answer kind of your question, it's like, oh, the monkeys have got some leader, and the leader seems to think that if they can do something over here, they're going to recoup the future. So it's something to do with Perry, get Perry's tech, take over the future, something like that. But there's also a third entity in there who you're pretty sure didn't have any. They weren't in the room with the monkeys. They stepped between where you are and them, in between, and closed your vision down. That's a whole different. That's a whole different thing.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
So as I come out of this, I'm gonna go, Perry, do you know anything about a lady android?
You're really, really hoping that he's not, that he's joking. Perry, you're really, really, really hoping that he's joking.
I'm gonna take that as a yes. Yeah, I think that's who's sending these monkeys. Let's go kick them back.
I want to make it clear that's not the answer to the question. The king monkey person is sending the monkeys.
My interpretation.
Oh, okay.
That is my character going.
So Perry's
makes sense.
So yeah.
Just to be clear, like orangutan is, I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but orangutan is so much worse than if the leader was like a silverback. Mm-hmm. Having an orangutan in charge is so much worse. Okay. Just, I don't know if you'd know that.
Or so there is an orangutan.
What you've shared, I don't know if there's been like a moment of you've told me what you saw completely, but just, I need to.
Oh no, I literally come out of this trance and I just go, do you know anything about a lady android? That's literally the first thing that I say. After like my eyes go back to normal.
All of the blood just completely drain from Perry's face. Just shock. Complete.
The nickname you've given them, Perry, is Dr. Infinity. That's the nickname you've given them. They identify themselves as Metatemporal Director and then the Infinity symbol. And Metatemporal Director becomes MD, so it's MD Infinity, and then it became Doctor. It's a really, really bad joke that you've been telling yourself.
I love it.
Fantastic. Okay.
Does this count as a remember someone?
If you want it to, you can probably process that later, because right now it's just
oh shit. Yeah. I'm not necessarily connecting the dots right now because I'm in. Why does he know this?
Yeah,
this is terrifying.
I love that. That Danger is so cool.
Yeah, there's it. I had to like dig through my Avengers versus X-Men comic and see if I could find a frame of her.
Dr. Infinity is no bad news for you. Things are likely to get extremely complicated for you in the future, but that's got to be a different problem than the monkeys. Although they would probably be extremely pissed about the monkeys and blame you. Yeah. Yeah. More to research. Probably not somebody that you would remember, because Dr. Infinity tends to lie outside the timeline, as near as you've been able to tell. Dr. Infinity, they presents she, which makes it particularly complicated. Yeah. Presents she, they pronouns.
Got it. So let's get back to the bus then, because apparently monkeys, all kinds of stuff coming through. Orangutan king.
And
Android.
you're actually saying half of that in the bus because he dropped you down through a portal into the bus. Like, so, he drops you guys. These two drop down into the bus in front of you, like both of you, like orangutan king, monkeys, school parking lot. Wait, okay, we're back at the bus. That's good.
All right, let's go. All right, we need to go now.
Hey guys.
I take that in, and I look back at Mitzi, and I'm like, time to be heroes, and shoot a wink, and then I start suiting up.
I think Mitzi's face gets a little bit redder, and she's like, "Yeah, let's go."
I love it.
Okay, does it noticeably change shades?
I mean, like she was already like, kind of blushing, like whenever he grabbed her hand in the first place, and then like y'all came, and like maybe it's just like you just see her like act awkward,
A little flustered.
yes. Yeah, a little flustered. Yeah.
I got you. I'm just gonna kind of nod a little bit.
Are you leaving the bus or taking the bus? It's not
Oh,
very
I'm
far
taking
away
the
because
bus.
it's the parking lot of the
no.
school. So
All right.
Oh, we don't need
So
the bus.
what I actually want to see happen is I need you two to play rock paper scissors right now.
With who?
I need
I'm getting ready to take
I
the
need for
bus.
Mitzi and Caleb to play rock paper scissors to see who pilots the bus.
Okay, is it on 3 or after 3? So is it
Rock,
1,
paper,
2?
scissors, shoot.
Okay, rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yes.
Okay,
Ready?
all right, ready? Yes. 1, 2,
Oh,
3. Here, somebody else count it off.
All right,
'cause we
right?
can't apparently.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Okay,
On
ready?
your mark, and rock, paper, scissor, shoot.
Very
Rock,
good.
okay.
paper, scissors, shoot.
Ah, fuck.
Okay.
I love it. Like we gotta go. And they both look at Perry, and Perry's like, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock,
Also,
paper,
it's
scissors.
right there. We don't need the bus.
I mean, we could absolutely power slide the bus and take out a phalanx before we even have to deal with them.
I can
What do
power
you
slide
think?
another bus.
Work
against
smarter,
the
not harder.
pallets.
I'm already sitting in the seat. I'm like, we're going.
We don't even need the bus. We're taking the bus anyway. Fine.
The spider legs come out from underneath it. And
Oh, oh no! This time it's different. This time
no.
it is no, because this time it looks like a floating colossal squid, like surrounds like all of it. So the bus body goes into the squid, and then at the front of it are tentacles, and it's just floating through.
Fantastic.
It's like a cuttlefish tucking itself into a
Yes.
shell for a little bit, just to. My
Yeah.
God. Oh my
The
God.
bus
Do we
is
have
the
time
shell.
to get
It's
dressed,
great.
like to change real quick, or like is it just
Sure.
like, oh nope, we're
We
going?
can change on the bus while he's driving.
I think Mitzi like goes like I think we
There's a couple little
converted some
stalls.
closets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a couple
Yeah.
The little stall. There's a couple places where you
We
got
needed a
curtains
full
hung
school
up.
bus.
Thankfully, mine's really easy. I just throw on my other battle vest and then a gas mask.
Right. Yeah, he puts on his tack armor. His helmet, I imagine, is kind of like the Iron Man thing where he like kind of hits a button and it kind of
Yeah.
goes over. Yeah.
Or even like Thor's helmet from Ragnarok, the one that he uses in.
Oh yeah. Right. And the visor just kind of like
shunk.
comes down over it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. I like that.
Does
I'm
Perry
just gonna-
have-
I'm gonna like yell to Birthright, be like, Birthright, mask.
All right. Well, oh, you need yours. Okay, yeah, I throw it to him.
Fine. Okay,
Mitzi,
cool.
Mitzi
Alright.
was asking. You were asking what? Does Perry have what?
Does Perry have like a uniform? I forgot this yeah, Perry has a uniform. Sorry, I was just
Yeah,
like,
I've got the it's sort of a mix of sleek, high tech, and impossible. Is sort of where it's in the Venn diagram of those three.
Got
So
it.
it's a little outfit with the white and the pink where I'm holding the golden apple.
yeah. I see
And
now.
I would say like the one obvious future thing is that like in situations like this, I can hit a button and like nanotech goes.
Obvious future.
Yeah, that would be where the impossible kicks in.
Obvious future tech.
I think Mitzi's rolling out, like trying to pull a boot on and like slapping her face.
Yeah, this is not a like comfortable ride. Just so
No.
we're clear.
It's like we're being thrown from like one end of the bus to the other.
As the thing's like basically swimming over top of fences and stuff like that and pulling
See,
itself.
this is when I drive. At least it's smoother than this. It's
I
like,
see. I picture you shouting from the back doing this like over the car.
Yes.
When I drive, it's smoother than this.
Win at rock paper scissors next time.
We're gonna have to reevaluate how we do this for the future.
This is my favorite thing.
Okay, so the school parking lot, most of the cars are gone. Where you're getting this, it's late enough, and the cars that would still be sticking around for like sports events and stuff, or sports practices and stuff like that, with a different parking lot of the school. But there's still some cars around. Maybe a couple of people, like they're waiting for pickups and stuff like that. The edge of the parking lot. There may be a few people around, but everyone's basically pulled back. And what's going on here in the middle of the parking lot doesn't seem to be. They're not immediately concerning themselves with whoever is nearby. So what you have is an active portal that appears to have been stabilized. So it was opened, and when you got your vision of it, Revenant, it was just the energy signature. They've dropped in like something on the ground, like sort of a metal framework. So it's kind of like the bottom and then sort of the bottom arc of it, but not all the way around. It doesn't have the full circle. It's just got enough to kind of stabilize it and give you kind of a landing pad kind of thing to stabilize that portal. There's a bunch of these sort of, like I said, space monkeys have come through. And they're not immediately going crazy and starting to shoot and attack everybody. They're setting stuff up. They've got ones out here with like big things on their arm. They're like with big screens on them that are like swinging around. A couple of them have set up like sort of like consoles, I guess is the best way of thinking it, but like in the Star Trek sense, these, like they've lugged through, and like, so there's cables on the ground, there's hookups and stuff like that, and they're scanning. Mostly they're scanning in the direction of the school, but they're also kind of scanning. We get a couple of panels that are close up that you guys aren't necessarily seeing, but the comic viewer is saying it's like, well, we're getting heavy signatures over in this direction towards this building, some leading off this way. There's a much heavier signal in this general direction. They swing it around, and in the panel as it's going, it's like the glowing lines, and suddenly the bus is in the frame of the thing, and like, yeah, coming in closer, and like, so.
Question.
What was that?
Did we put a sunroof in the bus?
I mean,
Yes, sure.
Okay.
with the powers that you guys have.
Yeah, I think. Let's see. Once finally she's got her boot on and her mask is.
Having a clarity ejection portal seems like a really good idea.
That's pretty much what it is. She'll kind of like jump up to the roof and just like hold on there until they're there.
So
then she'll jump off. Yeah.
I picture the shot. The big action shot, the 2-page spread, is the bus with all the glowing cephalopod like extensions coming out of it. You can see Revenant like grinning like a bloody maniac in the front wind. Mitzi's hanging in the air up above with like the little pink trail coming up from out of the bus. Birthright like hanging out the door of the open side, the side door of the school, where you can grip that one bar. And like leaning out the one side, and Perry kind of like adjusting his spectacles, looking through the front windshield next to that. That's the shot of
Love it.
with struggle bus like written across the front grill where it would normally have or across the front bumper. Revenant. Let's investigate a move here. Because you're driving. Right. You run rock, paper, scissors, so when you enter battle against a dangerous foe as a team, add 2 to the team pool. I'll do that in a second. If you're the leader.
Okay.
You've stumbled into that position for this one. If the leader has influence over every teammate, add another team. Do you have influence over everybody?
You have it over me.
You automatically get it over me at the beginning of the session.
Well,
Game.
beginning of the game. It can always change.
Sorry.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, I thought. Yes, so it says that I have influence over Silas, Perry, Mitzi.
Yep. So you have influence over everybody in a team. Add another team. If any team member mistrusts the leader or another member of the team, remove a team.
I don't know if I mistrust him as a person. I'm not entirely confident in his driving capabilities, though.
I think
That's not trust though. That's judging.
I feel like that's a
my
DM's
skill.
call.
that's really. I think it counts as trust. I'm more curious
That's fair.
about. I feel like the last unanswered question before this all got started, though,
Very important.
was Caleb trying to ask Perry, "Can I trust you?" I feel like that's an open question for Caleb right now. Can you trust Perry?
So this is a complicated situation for him
Yeah.
because he is choosing to trust him. Like he's doing it, but it's not an earned trust to him. It's he is forcing himself to do it. So not a real trust.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, I absolutely. I get it. You're
Speaking it into existence,
like-
yeah.
Yeah, like
fake it till you make it.
I trust that he won't make me like he's not going to hurt me like, but I still don't know if I trust his intentions
Gotcha.
because I don't know why he's here still. And I'll take him at it like if he says, "Hey, I promise I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to do anything to make
It's almost
I'm here to help."
It's almost the reverse of Birthright, because it's like with Birthright, it's like, oh, I trust him. I just don't trust him at this exact minute with that gas pedal. And
Right.
with Perry, it's no, I absolutely trust him right now. I just don't know if I can trust him long term.
Yeah,
It's a flip. I think
Perry's the only one who. Yeah, I was like, I think that was it. But he's the only one that I don't know enough about him. We haven't had conversations enough
Gotcha.
to know. And he's seemingly connected to these monkeys that keep coming back and who killed my dad. Let's not forget this, guys.
Yeah.
Remember, this is within a year that these monkeys killed my dad. There's a reason that I'm driving this bus this way. Just so we're clear.
Yes.
Okay, I like it. And do you think your team is ill prepared or off balance? I mean, the bus is.
I actually think we're more prepared than we've been ever. Like we're ready. We're like, okay, we're going into battle. Like
You certainly
all right.
you hit the final entrance point, and everyone seems to be like ready to roll. All right, so nobody's removing 18 there, so that's 4 team. I'm going to throw into the pool, and I'll worry about that here in a second.
So we'll remove one for trust, and then yeah. Okay.
Do we?
Sorry, my brain.
I don't know if we remove one for trust. I was going to leave it because I feel like it's there. Like for in the moment it's there. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Yeah, because that's kind of how I feel towards. But I mean, I can understand even that. Like,
Yeah, no,
but I mean,
it's usually, yeah. I think in the relevance to this situation. Oh, maybe though the monkeys thing, the constant like, why do the monkeys keep cropping up? Maybe not. You might be right. I'll take one out of there. Just 'cause we have a doubt about the monkeys.
Yeah, I was like, I just don't know.
With
But
regards
I'm
to the monkeys, I
also
have doubts.
super angry right now. Like, I'm mad.
We'll start with
Big
you
mad.
then. So what are you doing here? You got the bus. There's a bunch of monkey gear. There's monkeys everywhere. You got a portal.
Okay, so I'm driving this bus. All the little tentacles are shooting out. I'm gonna direct the 2 like shooting out tentacles that cuttlefish have to like grab their prey and bring them in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna shoot them out, grab 2 of the monkeys, and shove them through the front glass into my hands. And I want to drain the life out of them.
Oh my God.
Blood for the blood god.
For the record. For the record.
For the skull throat.
Yeah, for the
It's
record.
not gonna. I'm not gonna kill them.
Yeah, you're
I
not
just
like
want them to not be able to fight.
you're not mummy draining them down to dusty corpses.
Yeah, exactly. That's not the goal. The goal is to just knock them unconscious so they cannot fight.
Got you. All right.
And hopefully scare the rest of them. We'll
that
see.
works for me. Let's do a directly engage. See how that goes. That definitely feels like a direct. So you're rolling danger.
Yep.
Hopefully you're not still afraid.
I am, and it fails.
Whew. All right. So options on the table. You let the fail go because certainly stuff that can happen here. I already have a marvelous idea. But or everybody, there's a couple people that can pile on in different ways to help by throwing in team and pushing them up to a 7. The idea that I have in mind here is that he loses in doing all of this. He kind of loses control of the bus, which careens in very unexpected ways.
This is also why I didn't want to bring the bus.
To be honest, though, that kind of makes sense.
And I kind of like that. We'll put the bus back together later.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
I
not
You
running
mean
off of
I
an
will
engine.
with my power?
I'll help. I can help.
It's gonna be
You're
like the
like,
ship
"No, you've
from the
done it."
Mandalorian, where it just gets more and more beat up every episode.
Oh god, it's just eventually it's like, well, we can only be in this one room.
I mean, if it's gonna be the struggle bus, it should be the struggle bus.
Yeah.
There is a
Alien wire, twine, and sheer force personality.
you guys know that I have done like the Ironsworn game and Starforged, which is the sci-fi version of that, largely heavily inspired, not to borrow from, but like literally gave the creator the energy to finish the project of doing the sci-fi thing was the Mandalorian. And to the point where there's actually like he added rules that weren't in there originally for what happens mechanically speaking when your primary means of getting around in space, your ship is unexpectedly exploded in the middle of a in the middle of the storyline, because he wanted to be able to do the Mandalorian, and
Right.
Anyway, because now the Lego kit for the Mandalorian's ship comes pre-assembled right out of the box.
Yeah.
Big bags of pieces. Anyway, all right. So, okay, so the whole thing happens. The tentacles reach out. They grab the monkeys like, ah! They're like, ugh. We see the energy pulsing down. And he's like, you're really focusing on that. Like, yes, pay. Like just, you see that kind of like, and
I'm just like Caleb, the wheel, Caleb, the wheel.
And the bus is kind of skewing, and it's starting to skew, and kind of, it kind of hits the pavement, does a little like dig out kind of thing, goes through one of the consoles, sparks everywhere, monkeys leaping to the side. It starts to go over, and we see, and this is we're kind of seeing the last couple of from a couple of high school kids that are seeing this thing, like watching the park, and we see at a distance, and it's really kind of small. Like on the panel, the bus is like a Matchbox car, like, and we see and we see the bus kind of go like this, and then go whoop through the portal. And then the next panel is these kids still sucking on like a big gulp or something like that, and all of the monkeys like shouting at each other. At a distance, you can't see anything. It's just the waving around little stick figure arms and everything like that. And then they all they all start like, are they leaving? Yeah, they're going back through the port. Well, it makes like, oh, it makes sense. That's like the shortest invasion I've ever seen in this town. It was like 4 minutes. The cops didn't even
Taking a fight to them.
Agents didn't even have a chance to get here. Anyway, all right, I gotta go, man. That's my mom. All right, I'll see you.
There's this frame in the first issue of Avengers vs. X-Men where like it starts with like Nova like crashing back in from the atmosphere into New York City, and like all of these people get like thrown out of the building, and Spider-Man has to like get them all in like one web. And there's this one frame where it's like him holding up like 30 people in a net, and there's like a little speech bubble at the bottom when some guy's just like, "That's it, I'm moving, I'm done."
Halcyon teenagers, until they're actually actively being shot at, are not going to be too
Just like,
churned up about this. Now, the
reminds
bus
me of the
was
story of the New York City bus driver. It's like a guy gets on his bus dressed as King Henry VIII holding an entire leg of lamb, and the bus driver's like, "Yeah, I've seen a million of them guys."
Yeah. So
Anything can happen in the Bronx.
I forgot a very important panel in here. So the first panel is the bus starting to tumble from the distance. You can see the little thing. And then the next one is the little floop as it goes through the thing. The next panel after that is the monkeys kind of standing there, and the stick figure that's like kind of pink and hanging up in the air has a very like visible, even from this distance, speech bubble that's nothing but wingdings. Because Missy's like staring after them going, "Fuck!" And then her swooping down it, and then you've got the monkeys arguing with each other and running after it. Because she wasn't with y'all. And it's like, well, shit, now I have to go through the goddamn...
So the speed... She had already leapt clear before we started to roll.
Yeah, she was floating up above the bus. Little tiny stick figure, but with the speech bubble still visible from across the parking lot.
Yeah.
I think it's more like... She's like, and it just cuts off before it exits the whole word.
We had,
and everybody in their brain is just hearing "fuck." Except me.
We had back when I played Eve Online, which is a game that you swore at a lot for various reasons.
I remember those days.
The password into our our group channel was F7U12 because we'd always you hit the letter F 7 times and then the letter U 12 times, and that was what you that was the response. F7U12. Anyway, swoop through the gate, and then they kind of stare after it. It's like, all right, man. Well, my mom's here. I gotta go. That's it.
Perfect.
I love that.
And we're going to stop with you. The next panel in the next book is going to be the bus kind of laying kind of cockeyed over a branch of a strangler fig, like the root of a strangler fig, in like the stony courtyard in front of like a big old stone pyramid in the jungle, with all the graffiti and stuff all over it. As you guys are now halfway around the planet.
These things are cool looking. Holy shit.
Strangler figs? They are the best. They are what's the best? So they're the best.
What is it called? Strangler figs?
Look for strangler figs. Just go look for strangler figs. They are cool as shit, and they are on every continent except for Antarctica. They are everywhere around the globe. Which means if you need a weird plant to be everywhere, that's your huckleberry. They're I love them. I found out
that's cool.
So they're actually like a vine. They're like a vine that grows up around another plant as like a, what do you want to call it? Hey Andy. They're folks that they're a thing that grows up around the tree. And they grow up to the point where they grow up around it and block out all the light. So they kill the tree that's inside. That tree dies out and leaves the structure of this thing that had grown up around the tree as this hollow.
That's so metal.
Like shell around it. And they're flipping enormous.
That's awesome.
Yeah. You can actually be inside of it. It's like a hut. Like, it's crazy. So yeah, you're like on the, and they have the kind of windy roots and stuff like that. So yeah. So the school bus, the struggle bus, is kind of on its side in the jungle with the graffiti, leaning up against one of these things. Mitzi's kind of like looking down on it from above, kind of hovering in the air. Yeah, the portal back behind you guys, with the monkey starting to rush back out of it, and the forces that had not yet come through the gate are here. The situation.
Oh no.
The situation has escalated.
Oh no.
Beep beep beep.
Oops.
Oops.
Did we do that?
Did we do that? Yes. Yes. Technically, Revenant did that. That would be me. But you know what? If it's any consolation, mark potential. So you do get to mark XP for that 5. So good job. I will say,
Birthright's last frame as he looks around, he's like, "This isn't where I parked my car."
It is now.
My absolute favorite thing about masks is when people roll sixes or lower. Like the best stuff happens
Yeah.
when people blow a roll. There's a portal. Portals are great. They're my favorite. Nobody has ever looked at a portal when something emerges from it and go, yeah, I'm glad that came through. And now the monkeys get to experience that. So welcome to the jungle. We'll be beginning.
Does it have fun and games?
I didn't even keep you in Halcyon City for 2 full sessions.
Session 3 is going to be named "Welcome to the Jungle."
Welcome to the
Fantastic.
jungle.
I'm not mad about it.
Yep.
Did we stumble upon a title for this session?
I feel like I had one
School's
for a
back in session.
School's back.
I like Time to Be Heroes.
Time to be heroes. I like that.
Maybe Heroes is good.
Yeah, I'll have to ponder that. Time to be heroes. I like the Time to be heroes. That's a good line. Oh man. All right, good stuff. I gotta think about.
It's better than Your Dad Sucks.
I mean, that's a pretty good one, though.
That's a good one.
Still pretty good.
Like, your dad sucks.
You have to watch back through the stream.
Oh yeah.
So we had, yeah, I'll have to watch back through it. Oh no, what a tragedy. All right, so with a little bit of time to spare, not pushing anybody up against their must stops and stuff like that, I will say thank you very much for your time and attention on this. I'm having an absolute ball with this. There's a thing.
It's so much fun.
Thank you. There's a thing in. I shouldn't say thank you. It's not just me. It's certainly not even 1/5 me.
A group effort.
The group effort. There's a thing that a group that I am vaguely involved with does that I kind of like. That they call it Stars and Wishes.
Yeah, Stars and Wishes are the best.
Stars and Wishes are the best. They used to call it Roses and Thorns, and that was kind of like that sort of stinks a little bit. But Stars and Wishes are awesome.
I think the reason why they don't want to do Thorns is because it focuses on negativity.
Exactly.
While Wishes means like you focus on the positivity instead. So
Yeah.
I actually did a whole TikTok on that stuff.
Oh, you did?
Nice.
I don't
I'll
think I
have to
saw
check
that
that
one.
Yeah.
I'm. This isn't going to be exactly how they word it, but and I don't really care that much about the stars unless you want to call out something that somebody else did that was super awesome. But Stars and Wishes are sort of going back and going, I really like this about this particular thing, whatever that happened to be. That was really awesome in the scene. Wishes for me is I would really like this to happen. I have this scene that I would like. Not I want to be able to beat up this guy, but I would love to be able to confront this guy. You know
I
what
thought
I'm
that
saying?
was your wish for a second. I was like, what does this mean? What
No,
do you mean?
no.
By
I as an example, like I'm not trying to
yeah.
like I don't want to say like, well, what do you want to have happen? Well, I want to beat the crap out of Transcendent. That's not really what I'm saying. I definitely want to have a
I got a wish for you.
I want to have a confrontational scene with Transcendent. Whatever that ends up being, and then
Right.
we play to find out what happens, right?
Yeah.
So if you have wishes, we have a whole week to talk about it.
Okay.
Oh, I have one now that
What is
my
that?
brain's the lunch date with the boys at the house.
Yes.
Yes, I actually really want that to happen
I second having your entire family adopt these
These misfits.
disaster white boys. That
We're gonna
sounds-
show up like the end of the first episode of New Girl when we all show up. It's like we are reverse Mormons. One man just isn't enough for her.
She will never recover. Neither will the family.
Okay.
If I'm understanding correctly, the stars are basically what I would know is like shout outs at the end of it.
Yeah, shout
Yeah,
outs.
it's like highlights.
Okay.
It's like a highlight
Gotcha.
reel. Like,
Yeah,
what were your favorite like highlights?
I got one real quick. I really appreciated that kid who has trouble expressing his own feelings was 100% there for Mitzi to help her deal with her feelings in the
Yeah.
bus. Like as soon as Revenant and Fractal pieced out, Birthright was like, I'm here for you.
Like he'd been waiting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a really tender moment. I really,
It was really sweet.
kind of
It was
regretted
very good.
screwing it up with the coffee run. So
Oh, it was perfect. That's what set it
Oh
up.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I got you, Birthright. I'm looking out for you, buddy.
He's like wingman of
That's
the
like,
year
what do you
over
think
here.
I'm doing?
Harry, let's go do a thing. What? It doesn't matter. Come on.
Coffee.
Yeah.
We're going to get coffee. I'm not really that sick. Whoa!
No, this isn't a question. This is a statement.
Right.
I love that he said, "Give me some
Yeah.
more of that whole milk," because I have to imagine that they were at the coffee shop and Perry literally just ordered, "Can I just get a large thing of just milk, like whole milk if you've got it?"
You know why, right?
Because cows
I would
don't exist
learn.
anymore.
Exactly. We don't have real milk in the future.
Everything's like a soy or almond based
Right.
milk.
I'm going to say,
Goodness.
I will say thank you once again for giving me the, I'm going to care about school because they might take my choir away, which is just
Good.
not where
So
my
good.
brain's going to go with like Thrasher Punk Boy.
Right.
Thrasher
Yeah.
Punk Boy Battle Vest. That's just not where I'm going to go with that. And I love that soft side of it, right? Of the character. That is really, really great. And I love that.
Where you learn about diaphragm support so you don't tear your throat out when you're fronting your band.
Yeah.
I loved that that Revenant wanted to be there to comfort Birthright, but like understood how his brain worked enough to just be like, "We're just gonna hang out in the same place, and I'm gonna say one thing to him, and I know that that's gonna be what he needs." And like that was perfect.
It's good stuff.
I just love Perry's brain. Just,
Yeah.
that's the story. That's
Okay.
the thing.
I
I have my favorite thing this whole time was the morning scene between Mitzi and Abuela. That was my
Yes.
favorite scene in this whole thing
That's
because
great.
it was so wholesome because like first of all, Mitzi, like Mo, you did such a good job with Mitzi just loving her grandma. Just like, no, I love you, but like also stop. like it was so
Stop it.
perfect. It was amazing, and it just I have it just makes me I'm so happy. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I like that character a lot. I am glad that I have when we were talking about the character and we were talking about background, you're like, I think it probably skipped a generation. But thinking, this kind of deal. I think my grandmother. I'm like, is she going to give me a Latin grandmother to play? Please. Yeah, my abuela is definitely the one with the power. I'm like, yes, yes.
Oh, that's
It
amazing.
makes me so happy.
You did great.
Thank you.
Yeah, no.
I appreciate that. Hey, you know what? If we have a minute, let's touch on that because we were talking a little bit about the lines and veils stuff with regards to racism.
Oh yeah.
Oh, now watch me shift gears. That would. Oh, okay. We're talking about this other thing. I personally, I'm gonna say this whole bit. I personally really like the way Sean laid it out in the sense of it being a lines and veils thing where it is talked about as a thing that exists. Obviously, I experienced it, but we're not actually seeing what this doesn't always happen in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. There are scenes we see like the cops get called in for like a 2-car response to the fact that Sam is walking while black. Like we see that happen. I don't need that, but I think it would be. I'm gonna post comment on this. I think it would be really useful for having Abuela talking about the way some people behaved to her when she was a superhero 50 years ago and going, well, that was in the old days, and you kind of going, it's kind of still the same way, Grandma.
Still not great.
That's not great. Yeah. And talking about it without having to, always be in the middle of it, but we definitely checked lines on that with a note like using superhero prejudice as a way of sort of reflecting on that in some way, shape, or form. But here's the thing. I find it compelling and useful. I'm also aware that I can go, and now I don't have to think about it anymore because I'm not playing the game and I never have to experience it. Not everybody's in that situation, and I don't want. I also don't want Mo to have to do the emotional heavy lifting for us because there's 3 of us and it's not fucking 4 of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Which
4
I
of us
realized
and it's not
after
fair.
I asked you the question, I was like, "Oh crap! Now I'm asking you to do the work for me."
Exactly.
I'm sorry about that.
So
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Carrying around
I'm
4
used to
white
it.
guys is a lot of work.
I'm used to it.
I could see. I don't know.
But that's
this could
bad,
be a
right?
thing,
We shouldn't
too.
be doing that. That's also a bad thing.
Perry, if we're okay with Perry being multiracial because he's from so far in the future,
Yeah.
etc.
I honestly think that, like, There's a weird South Park, and I don't know why I'm bringing up South Park. South Park does like this thing where the aliens from the future come in, and like they're all like, they're all tan and multicultural and like every because like it's a big all melting pot at that point.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't want to reference South Park, but that's
Well, I was gonna say, I think a lot of it reminds me also of like Star Trek, and like how they like Roddenberry was like basically trying to make like this ideal utopian society in the future where like when they were filming the Next Generation, it was in the script that like none of the conflicts revolved around like it being between the actual crew members, because the idea was that they had like evolved past like social struggles and things like that.
Yeah.
And
you want to talk about being inspired by South Park? The thing that originally, the comment I originally made about Abuela when she was talking about is like, there's a headline in this. It's kind of like The Onion, but more for. It's sort of a feminist Onion called Reductress. I really
I've heard of it. Yeah.
They do great headlines, but one of the headlines was Grandma's funny stories about growing up actually just microaggressions and sexism. And that's kind of how I think a little bit about how some of Abuela's, stories.
It'd be funnier if it weren't true.
It'd be funnier if it weren't true.
There's actually a Mexican rapper that I listen to called Snow the Product, and
she's so good. My wife loves her.
I love her. One of her lines from like a song called Snooze, which is like a minute and a half, just her straight ripping it. And it's called. There's a line that says biracial, bipartisan, bisexuals. Like that's what we should be like focusing on. Like that's where everybody should be at this point.
Yeah,
right.
I could also see Abuela being low-key disappointed in Perry because Perry's just brown enough. Like, why doesn't he speak Spanish?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, why are you calling me out?
Just at me next time, right?
Man, I didn't mean to call out Mo. Sorry.
Yeah, no, but for real, like it's funny because my dad's like, I'm half Mexican and half white, and my dad was like, "Oh, you'll learn Spanish in school. It's fine because Spanish was his first language." And so, yeah, I spent 8 years of public school and a semester in college, and I can read it kind of. I have enough words in my vocabulary to survive.
Right. My family lost Italian in my dad's generation, so I hear.
And then, like, we're going to stories real quick. I've always been called like, "Oh, you're just Mexican light," and like, you're not real Mexican, blah blah blah. So yeah, I see where you're going with that, but I also get called white people, white girl with a tan. So like,
well, I mean, Jason Cordova talks about that same experience being like not brown enough to be able to represent the community by the community, like the community's decided, And I know
there's been so many liminal fills that I have that anybody who's like white passing but also grew up in that culture, I'm like, no, you're enough, and they're like reverse, like, no, I don't know, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm a fraud.
I guess I'm wondering if at this point in time where we are on things like Abuela talking about the past and comparing it to the future. I think
it's good to bring that up. Yeah, I think I like that.
All right.
Because as a DM, you set the tone and bring in the world around us and how it's supposed to be shaped.
Sure.
And I think Barnaby and Kendo did a lot of like videos online on TikTok, which about like GMs like bringing that stuff in. So
yeah, we did a lot of it. I mean, we've done a lot of it pretty much in every game, but we did a lot of it in the very first game because when we were coming up with our Halcyon City, we came up with a guy, one of the I want to say Golden Age heroes that really helped shape Halcyon was a hero named Justice, who was sort of like Mr. Terrific. He was just like he was a supercomputer, and he basically made Jim Crow just not happen in Halcyon. It was impossible because of the way that he helped organize the city, and that shaped a lot of stuff. And it kept coming up. Has-Beens was run by an older black man who had been part of like sort of a chain of wielders of Excalibur, but it was like multiple Excaliburs. Like it was more like the spirit of Excalibur, so they could all sort of manifest the blade. And he had been one of the ones that had been it was really, really cool. And they had a guy who was like one of the current like bigwigs in it, and sort of like there was a kid in the high school. It wasn't one of the main characters. This is the problem I had. Because I had one player who pitched me a different character for every single playbook. complete, not like, oh, I can do this one character, but here's how it would work in 14 different playbook. No, he came up with 14 different characters that he pitched. And so I kept a couple of them as NPCs around the high school, and one of them was this kid who also grew up in, he was he was the kind of kid who's going to get arrested for walking while black. His armor was one of those hoodies that looks like armor. That looks like plate mail cool. Kind of a thing. But he was referred to and this is how we kind of explored this a little bit just in this, because it was, it's the Arthurian legend. It's a little bit weird. He was one of the guys who could manifest the sword, but everyone called him Ten Stone. Everyone in that organization called him Ten Stone because everybody else could manifest the sword, and it was like light as a feather and wave it around and all of a sudden. The sword that he manifested literally weighed 10 stone. Like, it was this massive, and they thought it was because he wasn't good enough at it. Like, he wasn't really a full, like, everybody had theories about why he wasn't really able to do the Arthurian, like, manifestation correctly. And, and he was getting coached by one of the previous wielders of the sword who was in this has-beens thing and stuff like that. There was other stuff going on. So there's always been some exploration of that kind of stuff going on in the games. It makes me feel a lot better about the fact that it's reflected into our big superhero group in one of the other Masks games is called Oversight, and there was a whole thing where one of the guys did something very bad, and so we had the protests outside of out of their building, like defund Oversight. This was right when the defund, when the BLM and defund police stuff was going on, and this was the high school campaign. And I was like, so what's going on? I'm watching all the defund Oversight protests on TV, and I'm like, really? We're going there? Oh yes, we are. We're absolutely. So that comes in.
The player pulled it in.
Yeah, the player pulled that in. They teach me stuff every day. I tell you what. Maybe I was just so far with my head up my ass when I was 15. That's actually very good odds of that. But the kids,
I'm nodding in relation to me, not you.
Teenage kids today, the ones that I interact with in here, are so much more self-aware of not just issues, but also their own bullshit. Yeah.
It's technology. They're able to have all these openings and like things that they're experiencing. Like growing up in a small town in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. You don't have that.
Also, everything's on the internet forever now. You can't really sweep things under the rug. So you have to be a lot more conscious of like how you behave.
And it's some of that, and it's some of like somebody going like, listen, this is when I do this and this and this and this, guys, you need to understand that's my trauma. And somebody else going, should I do that? Is that what? Oh, crap.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, I wasn't good at that kind of, and also just the urge for self-reflection wasn't there. The most self-reflecting that anybody did when I was a kid growing up was taking like, the self-exams in 17 magazine that you borrowed from your girlfriend. Like that, which the personality quizzes that would come up in teen magazines, those kinds of things. Yeah, that was like the most self-reflection you did was like the personality quizzes that showed up in teen magazines. Like nothing like what they said.
Are you red, orange, green, or blue taxonomy BS thing in like, I don't know, creative right or something? I forget.
Anyway, we went a little bit afield on that. I'm glad we had the conversation. I think it's useful. I know that I'm the one who's introducing it, but I'm not going to bring stuff that's not fun. And please, anybody say this, but I'm back to the carrying 4 white guys around. If the load gets heavy, just tell us you want a fucking break. Yeah. And that will be accepted.
Well, I'm like, there are resources that people have talked about if you want to like listen to more people.
People want to do the work, and we should all want to. Then
for sure.
I am doing the reading.
by all means. But anyway, thank you that's a good talk and a good way to wrap up. You guys are making me very happy about deciding to do this extra game because I unlike some people who are running 5 games a week or playing in 5 games a week.
Speaking of which,
I was actually calling out Andrew, not Mo, but you.
I actually have to go host like like go
Yeah.
for a green screen for a hosting for a tabletop RPG group, and then I have got my Monster of the Week game like probably like 2 hours after that.
Okay,
so.
I'm gonna
Nice.
go, but this is adding this extra thing on here is it was something for me to have to decide to do, and I'm really, really, really glad I am getting back tenfold what I'm putting into this, and that is all you guys. So
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Awesome.
Really, really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
this is amazing. You're all
Can we
fantastic.
can we build this little after talk into the session in future? Because I feel like this is good and important. If we can do the quick
Aftercare
little
is super important.
aftercare thing,
Oh, yeah.
can we build that in? Because
and-
this is great.
I think it's good, and whenever we're able to do it, and we're not pushed for time, and we've run over a bit. I think everybody said right around this time, they're like 3:30 Central,
Yeah.
4:30 Eastern. I think we're about that time. So let's pull this up. Thank you all very much. Have a wonderful the rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you all. I think probably super soon in the chat. So.
Yeah.
Probably
Take
my
care,
20
y'all.
minutes. Yeah.
Peace.
Bye,
in
y'all.
Bye,
respect.
guys.